We're going to call this meeting to order. If everyone would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. So where are we going to, what should we start off with
We
tonight?
didn't get the commissioners done. I don't know if you want
Right.
to start there tonight or not.
You want to find Dale? You want to find Dale?
Why?
He was just here. I don't know where he went.
I'll see if he's still here or not.
I can go look.
Okay,
He was running to the museum, I think, or something.
okay, so, here's that, commissioners.
We were right in the middle, Sharon, last night, going into the other departments. and doing that.
Right.
10 and 11.
Done. Council. Drainage board.
We can handle it.
There's the election. And we did probation, so,
Yeah, I'm sure we did everything by commissioners. Not that we don't need to go back over some of them.
yeah, I got that. Do what?
I said, not that there might not be some to go back over, but the commissioners was the only one we had not looked at.
Okay. Commissioners. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you're fine.
They can completely offline. Is that something you should use when you do some CFL?
Well, I mean, like normally we take them all out and then we can see where the budget stands.
Wade just called and told Renee over here about 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What now?
Normally we clear everything out and see where we stand if we do the report to get it based on our already budget.
So that
You can ask me to.
right into the.
Call Colder, can I bring up a couple Colders?
Are you good, like once, they said they'll send us back to the commissioners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stress ball.
Yeah.
I'm just going to. Stating.
You know, I really think you made me this for some reason.
Give to the newspaper guy, wherever he's at, where'd he go?
He's over there.
The rest of it would be like, they get a proposal and
It's in there by Chad.
We'll do this game here.
Mike said he's on his way.
Newspaper guy.
Okay.
Jim Wolf, that you made a stress ball.
No, I gave it to him. Oh, God. He's actually watching the cameras like the whole time.
So I was like, hey, I did that.
Probably going down less than 328 and 23.
Well, every other year there's been higher. I mean, they're not that much off.
Sure, 1,500,000, 500,000 spent. 500,000 spent.
And it's in 2020, 2021, and 2022 was. And even 23 was close to $1 million.
600,000 for emergency first aid.
Let's reduce this.
22, 23. And they were pretty close. In 1, 2, 3, 4 years.
I always say I'd rather die than you
I don't know what to ask.
You'll think about it, in our head, you know, 75, and I don't remember that being talked about 87.
Yeah.
That's what we need to stop.
Well, they don't use it to go back, but they always come up and use it for stuff.
I wouldn't need it.
Not if it's my money.
Huh?
Not if it's my money.
I had it, I probably would have.
Got it.
I'll spend it.
Is that retirement, pension, and stuff?
Why would they share such a budget? So
Does the
rock
retire rate,
stand
when
with
the
the social.
commissioners are 100 to 1,000, is that like when they do retire?
Yeah.
What is
So
that?
that covers all the county,
The entire
any county general employee. That covers their, the Social Security, Medicare, and PERF all comes out of commissioner's budget. Instead of every one of us budgeting in our own budgets, all the departments for county general are come out of commissioner's. So like everybody that you see on here.
They've never spent more than 328.
Well, they're assuming you're giving raises. So if you give raises, you have to increase Social Security, Medicare. Those two things total 18.85%.
I,
From getting 4470, 48, is that a problem?
Yeah, my drive offices, I can go home.
but I mean, now you go to YouTube, what's this meeting?
471, 48,000.
Some counties
I'm saying they budgeted enough for count all of the county general departments.
Take off and
So like, that spreadsheet, whereas like if you give this amount of raises, it's gonna equal this amount. They're budgeting for
I
that.
was born to be a star.
It feels like that one.
Tell that.
Raises back in tonight, you can still wait.
No raises.
Come on, Dale, where you at, buddy?
Yeah, we need to do something.
next year. Do we revisit it?
I mean, you would budget it every year, so yeah,
It would change.
but from other departments.
Just pretend. Because I know that. I know exactly for sure. Just pretend. We're just I think you can make calculations. See, I mean, because they're
Why now?
I know out of public TV, there's Cindy, the guy that comes from on that. I don't know what it is, but I know we can get money.
Is there any, get up? I've been waiting for 20 minutes. Sharon, call him up.
All right, thank you, Dale. Sorry.
Across the street over the museum, unloading a
If you budget raises, there's
$705 lateral
so you're not gonna have
filing cabinet that I bought today for $30.
tax unless you know.
That was a good deal. So
Did you donate the
I
$30?
just get Sharon a better number while we go.
got the $705 filing cabinet for $30.
Did you donate the $30?
Of course.
Can you do the same thing for those boilers?
And that would be 526,000.
I'll work on that, Bob.
So I think you're saying good budget, but
I've been working on it too, Dale. We're gonna get them for 5 cents each.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started so we can go through
Any
this.
other commissioners here today? Get your butt up here, boy. Matter with you?
So some things hasn't really changed.
What page do you want to start on, Sharon?
It's page 10 is where I'm at.
But that's a $609,000 courthouse. Do you have any specific questions, Sharon?
I don't really. From looking at it, there's not that much of a difference. I guess the elephant in the room is the boilers for the courthouse. So where are we at on all of that?
Well, we do have requests in here for funding to do various projects. But the things like Social Security and Medicare,
Right.
we're asking again this year for $300,000 appropriation because if you notice there in 2023, we actually spent over $270,000.
Yeah.
That's an expense that's unavoidable. The McCready team contribution is something that they tell us every year how much will be needed. And we just appropriate that much. That's for retirement for law enforcement. It actually went down almost $18,000 this
Yeah.
year, and I think that was due to one or two retirees from the sheriff's department passing away. Group health insurance, pretty much speaks for itself. We, if you understand anything about our insurance arrangement, we're self-funded, and we have to have that fund available. Things like office supplies, things that are needed. Legal services, of course, is a necessary evil. Our request for the emergency first aid for next year is $600,000, but we don't, realistically, I don't think that will be enough. Or I think we will be billed more than that. And I know that's an ongoing topic of discussion with you folks. We'll have to see.
So what all does that cover? The $600,000 for the emergency first aid unit, is that equipment, is that salary, what is? Everything is that under that one bundle? Okay.
Bill monthly, whatever the money they bring in off of calls, that's deducted off of the bill, and then the county is billed half of whatever the bill is left.
Yeah, because in 22 and 23, they both was over $600,000.
Dale, a lot of these things are Dale 1 and 2. Dale, these big amounts that you have clumped in there, I'd kind of like to see a breakdown of what you're actually spending on these big allotments that you've got there. Like a detailed list of what you're talking about in those lump sums.
What we're actually spending for EMS,
Like, I mean, on any of those large amounts, like what, like on number 30310, you got the building and prop and structure, you get 330,000. Well, what all does that include in the 330,000? That's just for example.
That's like
well, the
liability insurance.
30310 is the
Liability.
property and liability insurance for all the buildings the county owns. And our insurance carrier notifies us in advance what our premiums will be for the renewal year. And we never, to say the truth, I can't remember if we submitted this number before we got our statements or not.
I don't think so, because he gave us our estimates like before July 1st. So I think that's the actual number.
Okay, I think the 330,000 is a accurate number because, you know, we never asked for more in that line than what our actual renewal prices are. And we did experience some increases for this renewal. And I don't recall right this minute how much it was, but it was a lot of the increase is due to the policies for law enforcement. Nobody wants to insure law enforcement, especially jails anymore, and they can only get one company that is willing to do it. So that doesn't give us a whole lot to choose from.
Is there a reason for that?
Reasons for it?
Yeah. Is it because the age of our jail, the security system, has anything to do with that, or is it just a fact of life?
It's mainly due to the liability that is associated with any form of law enforcement and holding prisoners, because there's constant lawsuits, that sort of thing. And it's just nobody wants to be in that business anymore.
Well, your $300,000 is pretty much on track for what you've done to date.
330,000. That's what it'll take to
Yeah.
carry us for another year.
And I mean, I show if it continues as it is, that it could possibly be 356,000. I'm just
Yeah. Who knows?
taking into the monthly, what you're spending monthly now, what we have spent, average of what we spent up to the 8th month.
Well,
And
you
you
can
figured
see
that
on
on, figured that on an annual basis, it appears it could become $356,000.
Yeah, you can see there on your sheet, Tim, that beginning in 2020, what we actually expended there
Sure,
started out
sure.
a little over 200,000. It's gone from 200,000 to 330,000 over the span of 5 years.
I think you're pretty much on there, on that 330.
Is there other companies that can give you quotes?
Yeah, for law enforcement, not that I'm aware of. Wilson Lawson tell us they can only get one company to even give them a price.
There are others, yeah.
The emergency first aid unit, Dale, is that under a health and safety issue?
What do you mean,
Well, there's some things that can be covered, other things can't. Now, is the commissioners is off, not even considered as far as any of the health and safety issues?
Are you talking about the public safety tax?
Yeah.
EMS is a qualified expense from the public safety tax.
So the emergency first aid part could be considered in that,
It could be.
yeah.
I didn't quite get your question. Bob, but.
Could the $600,000 you're asking for be considered under the health and safety issues that are in the tax?
That is a qualified expense for public safety tax, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Dale, don't you think that we should pay that based off the runs instead of just splitting it half and half?
Well, I'm open to any idea that can reduce our expenses in that line. But that would require the city to perhaps pay more than what they're already doing. We have a 50-50 split right now. Some people feel like the county's taking advantage of, others don't. Dale here certainly knows more about that operation than I do. But that cost has gone up exponentially in the last few years, and I know it's been a concern to everybody. And I just don't know really what to do about it.
And then the same is true with 911.
Yes.
Kelly, what would you estimate the 911 split at?
Well, here's what a lot of people don't understand about funding for 911. Most of their money comes from the telephone surcharge. And it's the county that levies that telephone surcharge. It's not the city. That was the original county's contribution to that whole, the whole setup of that department. So if, let's say for instance, if the county for some reason wanted to start its own dispatch system and let the city have theirs and the county have theirs, the county could take that telephone surcharge money all to theirself, go set up their own dispatch system and leave the city high and dry if you so choose. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. You can effectively take your toys and go home over there if that's what you choose to do. So when anybody tells you that the county does not contribute anything to 911, that is not true. The county is the big contributor there. They simply don't understand where the money comes from and how it got there.
So how do we have the city help them to understand? Because when I was talking last night to Dale, Dale's probably just trying to make a point, I guess, with the city and say, hey, let's negotiate, let's talk about this, let's get something straight and get something going here. You know, as I think about charging the county, or the county only paying a third, it runs on 2/3 for the city. There's a way to get the city's attention and say, hey, we need to talk, we need to address these interlocal agreements, we need to get them current, and so that's equitable for both parties involved. I mean, yes, I'm aware that we could do that with our 911. Could that be smart? I don't really think so. Would it create some tension? Oh, definitely. But we somehow got to get the city to the table and to talk and say, hey, we need to update these. And then when we set a budget of 500,000, 600,000, whatever it is for EMS, or 400,000, whatever that number may be, we have to hold to it. Now, they were supposed to provide a budget to us by July 1st. They didn't provide that. That's an interlocal agreement. We have no say in their salaries or wages or anything for the EMS. We have no part of that. Just like they really don't have any say, they don't have any say in 911 wages. So I mean, we've got to get the two bodies talking and working together rather than fist bump.
Well, the last attempt to review those agreements and update them was done by you and I when we went over and met with the mayor on these issues. And the discussion didn't go anywhere.
And those from you and I.
Right.
So we'll leave it at that.
So what do you do? Now, I'm the last one in the room that wants to do anything that would put any citizen in any danger. 911 is an essential service. It has to be, just like EMS. So I don't want to do anything to endanger the smooth operation of either one of those departments. But depending on how you want to look at things, some people may feel like they pay more for the service than others, you know, city versus county. But we got to have it.
I guess again, the third percentage on comp is also derived from the city saying how much they contribute to 911. And, you know, when you break it down, you look at the run totals, we all see them, Chad knows it, Dale knows it. Was there a chiefs in here? Dale knows where the run total is for their particular areas that they cover. How many times EMS is responding to Everton or Bentonville or Glenwood. They know those runs that they're making. So, I'm just saying, we've got to get together and work on this. Just like the public safety tax that was brought back to 2015 to the city, and they said, no, we're fine, we're healthy as can be, and I said, no, you're not. And here we are, with 2024, with the public safety tax, finally. This could have been implemented back in 2015, but the city dug their heels in and said, no, we're fine.
I do recall that conversation. So, anyhow, if anybody's got any ideas how to kind of reduce our expenses there, or make anything better there, I'm open to discussion about it.
I think maybe the council might be satisfied with it. I'm speaking for myself only because I haven't talked to her. I'm gonna guess that if we could set a number, stick to it, and when they need an additional, they come to council like every other department head has to do, so we understand what it's for. Because we don't know. We just know that what did we budget last year, Jane? We ended up paying out like 100,000 more, I think,
Or
EMS.
more than that. I think we budgeted, I can't see from the screen how much we budgeted, but I know we had to transfer money from several other funds at the end of the year to be able to cover.
Yeah. Now, is any council members aware that there's a drive out there with EMS reports that they have access to, can gain access to see what's going on?
Our budget was 9.1 million this year.
I was told that everybody had access to that. I knew nothing about it. I just found out a few weeks ago.
I didn't know we had access.
Mike, I don't think we're including the right person in this discussion. Now, Dale here used to head that department.
Right.
He knows how it works inside and out. If you need an explanation of how the itemized costs wind up at the city clerk treasurer's office and then divided by half or sent over here, he really needs to be answering these questions because he understands it better than anybody in this room.
He was under the grill before, wasn't he?
But the thing you were just talking about, I've never heard of that, where you could get into.
Yeah, Chad told me about it. He said that there's a drive that exists out there that all these monthly reports are going to. And they reside, and we all have access to it. Yet I've never,
I'm not saying either.
I'm not
I've
saying,
never
I don't
heard
think
of it.
anyone else in council seen it, so.
I've never heard of it.
They'll only assume that that's probably just like a Spillman account number. There's no way that they have access to medical.
Yeah.
It's not medical stuff, it's not medical
Yeah,
records.
It's just the run numbers and stuff like that.
I don't know what it is,
But
but
I don't
Chad
know where it would be at. But I don't think they could get into the Spillman system to get to it.
I'll look it up.
I'll check with Clint and see what he's, remind him Friday, we'll check. We'll let you know, we'll check. I don't know where it's at.
To answer your question,
Any such thing?
I'm sorry. Where you go? About prior years, the last 2 years, we budgeted 595. Last year, we spent 605, and the year before that, we spent 650, basically 655. So last year, we spent a little over 10 more than we budgeted, and the year before that, we spent about 60,000 more than we budgeted.
I was under the impression it was a lot more.
And plus the current contract,
Well, because we upped how much we were budgeting.
Okay,
well, the current contract does not match the amount of employees that are down there. So they've hired more since that contract was done.
But like I told you the other day, that contract in 15, I believe it was, we had the joint city-county council meeting when we took over the transfers for the hospital. And at that meeting, it was approved to bring on, I believe it was 5 more employees, which would have took it to 19. Yeah, they got 20 now, but it was 19.
I agree with that. I remember that. But I also know that if you want to discuss a contract, it's got to be brought up at a certain point with the city that what your intentions are to renegotiate that contract and look at it. So once that time has passed, it's, it doesn't matter.
I was thinking it says in there that it wants to be changed, you get 60-day notice or something,
Something like
but
that.
I don't remember exactly.
Something like that.
So, but as far as the contract was added to, and I think it was 15.
The one that Scott brought up,
We don't have a copy of that.
I don't think it ever got updated in the contract.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah, there was no new interlocal agreement
Yeah, it
signed.
was just a mutual sitting at the table talking, and they all agreed.
I agree, yeah.
That's how, you were there.
Yeah, you're right, you're correct. I don't think a contract ever got drawn up. I think it was just verbally all agreed upon. When Reed was, you were taking over Reed's.
So we took over Fayette Regional.
Yes.
That's what
There should be a contract.
should be in writing.
I mean, it needs to be in writing.
Yeah.
It's probably in those cities' minutes, but that's the only place I.
That was over here, wasn't it?
No, that was in the mayor's chambers office, if I remember right.
Okay.
But I've slept since then.
You're right. Excuse me.
What year was that?
15.
But anyhow, you should bear in mind though, because, it's obviously, the city plans some sizable pay raises on the city side using the new public safety tax. So half of those raises, county would be billed for. I mean, if the raises amount to, for that department amount to, say, $100,000, 50,000 of that is going to come to the county.
County.
So the way current business is.
I mean, they can obligate themselves, and we have to pay half of whatever their obligation is.
Yes.
Can we do the same thing to them?
Haven't figured out how to do that yet, Bob.
Well, we gotta get in there someplace, it's only fair play.
One of the things that was suggested to the mayor when we met with them was that we take over 911, we take over EMS, and also we take the animals control. And they don't have to have any split. Because we're taking care of the wet salary and wages for 911 anyways, EMS and we take care of the city, but we still contribute, so our residents, our county still has to be covered by statute. So that's the only kind of thing I'm saying there, and that way we don't have to worry, they don't have this kissing contest back and forth every year. Just like, hey, animal shelter, we take care of that, we take care of 911. Because those are the only ones we have in local agreements with, correct?
Those are the only ones I can recall right now, yes.
So just do that and call it good. Because we're never going to have say over the wages, and it's not that I want to have. That's something that needs to be negotiated in the city side. If they're paying that, they need to have that ability to negotiate. Just like we need to be able to say with 911. Just like you said, we could take that money, we can go home. We agree to continue providing 911 service for the city. They agree to continue providing EMS service for the county. There you go. Take care of it.
That sounds good if all parties could agree to it.
Well,
If it's an even split, I mean, I'd hate to come up with a bad end of it.
we won't.
We wouldn't.
No.
I mean, if that sounds good to me, if that could.
I'd have to sit down and really do the math on all that before I can.
I think it needs to be done, yes.
Where we, But anyhow, one thing's for sure, we're not gonna settle it here tonight.
No, we're not.
Why not?
It's just not that simple, right?
I hate to cover it again, Dale, but now how much is a boiler gonna cost? You want 3 of them or 2 of them?
You mean for the jail?
Jail and courthouse.
Well, I don't have any of those quotes with me there, Bob. That's all that
Well,
stuff.
paper put 87.5, I don't know what that was up for the boiler itself, not counting the installation.
Well, the boilers is just one of the items that, needs to be taken care of. If we tried to attack every little problem at once, we would need a lot more money than what we've asked for.
You're asking for $500,000, I'm just trying to break it down a little bit. Are we looking at 2 or 3?
Well, do you remember what I told you the other day about the tuck pointing?
Yeah, one of them's working, one's not.
No, I'm talking about the tuck pointing of the courthouse.
Oh, that's over here on another page, that's another.
That one there alone is over 600,000.
Yeah,
So, you know,
that doesn't become a safety issue until one of those bricks fall and hits somebody in the head, then we can transfer it.
yeah.
Can I ask a question real quick of the council, President? Are we going to get to the public safety tax at all discussion? Because these gentlemen, I'm sure, are here waiting for that.
That's what I would like to get to,
Okay.
yes. This is our last
I'm not
thing.
trying to shove it in right now, I'm just asking.
Mhm.
I think it's something to do.
That, yes, that's something that we need to get to, but we need to finish this and then we can move on.
Okay.
So Dale, are you looking at replacing the one that you're robbing now to keep the other one going? You're gonna replace that one, correct?
We'd like to replace the dead one.
Yeah. And the jail needs one.
Yes.
The other one's working, but it's older, but we don't need to worry about it right now. We just want a backup system in case we have to.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 2 boilers, basically we have to get replaced.
Yeah, we really should, Bob. And I don't know why some of this stuff happens the way it does. But we've got a boiler over at the jail annex. It was put in place in 1963. And it's still humming along just like the new.
Which they should, 50, 60 years, but they're ready to go.
Yeah, but that one gives us no trouble. It always works fine. This newer stuff is just not built to last long.
Well, the jail comes under the safety tax issue.
Yeah.
The courthouse does not, so. That's why I was wanting to get the individual cost as much as I can, see what we're looking at for each boiler, okay?
Are there any other questions or comments on the commissioner's budget?
Well, we gotta go to the next page.
I'm there.
Okay. And that's you're looking about $609,000 for tuck pointing the courthouse.
Yes.
Volunteer firefighters could do it for less than that and split it 3 ways.
Well, you're looking at a budget of, is it still budgeted at $1 million, but we could do it for 695? 609 rather.
Well, if we had that $1 million, Bob, there's several items we could do at once, you know. But
Oh, the annex roof's on there too, the tuck pointing's to 609,000.
yeah, there's a number of things that can be done with that. But, you know, I've done your job. I know what this is all about, and I'm realistic. If what we can't get done this year, we'll try to get it done next year.
Well, you're looking at about 50,000 for the annex roof, pretty close to it.
And the tuck point could be spread out over 3 or 4 years.
I know that's what they're doing up at St. Gabriel's.
I've
They split it up
investigated.
into
Several years.
several years worth of projects. The only downside to that is you get every time they have to come to town and bring their equipment, you get charged extra for that.
Yeah. But still, that's better than trying to do it all at once.
Do you know the total cost on the annex to get it up to par, ADA compliant and roof fixed and everything else issued, elevator fixed? Because we know the elevator 10 years ago was $150,000 because you had to replace the whole thing because of the bent shaft, correct?
Yeah.
So, and that's church not 150,000, it's probably north of 200,000. To make it ADA compliant, I'm sure it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. When you throw a roof on there, what's our actual cost gonna be in the end? Are you throwing good money after bad?
No, I don't think so. That's a historic building, and we've lost too many of our historic buildings, and I'm committed to maintaining that building.
Are there any other options other than the elevator?
Are cost effective?
Huh?
That are cost effective?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to ADA compliance?
Yeah. I don't know if there's other options.
Well, the thing about it is, it's not just the elevator, you gotta do the restrooms.
Well, I understand that, but that goes along with the elevator too, if you
Right.
fix the elevator. But is
Right.
there other options around the elevator?
So I'll say this, when I looked at putting a stair lift in, you have to have so many feet in the stairway for people to evacuate. So
How much space does the elevator take up?
the elevator's in its own space right now.
But could the elevator space be used with another option?
Possibly.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't, I haven't looked at it, I don't know. But is that space available for other options?
It would all have the old elevator and shaft, all the equipment would have to be taken out.
Be taken out,
something new
yeah.
put in place.
Do we have a cost on repairing the elevator?
Wheelchairs.
Do it now?
About 150,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, I understand that, but is that,
Actually, it'd be a lot cheaper to just move way to the basement over here.
Well,
Well, we've talked about that, even Ron, the VA, I mean, it would
just
be a
go and
lot
look at her
more.
and scratch her head
That's
and walk
also
away and see whether we're.
And probation, yeah.
Whether
But
there's
you
any-
got
It
it.
not be an open building to the public.
Are you sick?
well, I'm looking at a cost of the tuck pointing and annex around between $700,000 and $800,000 to take care of that part of it without getting into the elevator part.
Tear it down.
Turn it back over to the state and let them take care of
That may be hard, easier said than done.
it. This is over 5 years old.
Dale, 30970, service contracts, $160,000. What is that?
Where are you at?
Commissioners, it's page 11.
Can't remember.
160.
Yeah, service contracts for $160,000.
No.
30970.
Yeah, how many contracts is that?
Jane's gonna have to help me on this. Sometimes I can repeat all that stuff and sometimes I can't. And Jane, you mind stepping in on
I'm
You're
that?
looking.
slipping, Dale.
Hang on.
Huh?
You're slipping.
I'm looking it up.
I am slipping.
If you guys, if you look at your screens, you can see who all we pay out of there. There's Crow Shredding, Universal, Linden Services, the Vertical Systems Elevator, Rumpke, Rico. I mean, there's Corson, Securitas. I mean, basically, most contracts that have anything to do with it, they're gonna run through the commissioner's budget.
So it's services.
Yes. Yeah, it's all service.
Do you understand, Kim, why I can't just spit all those names out?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I know what the line is for, but I don't have all the names of all those companies committed to memory that
I can understand that.
Jane, would it be easy to turn that on so the crowd could see what we're looking at? Okay,
It's not working.
never mind.
Any more comments, questions for Dale?
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead.
We got the jail security, the metal detector over here. Is it over there or is it down someplace else?
No, we had it moved out of the hallway out here and it's across the street.
Well, some of the public safety tax could go toward manning, because it's always been the issue is who's gonna man that metal detector. Could we use some of the funds from that to provide staffing for that metal detector? I mean, I'd hate to wait for something to happen and we say, oh gosh, we had this metal detector, we could have installed this whole time to save these people. No, to do something, we chose not to do that.
I think that would be an allowable expense. That's the way you want to appropriate.
I mean, I have no problem if the council wants to talk about that later, but I was thinking about talking with Zach briefly.
Well, you've got a lot of things to consider. And at the end of the day, it's all about money, Mike, as you well know.
I know that, but I'm not gonna put money in front of somebody's life either.
No, I wouldn't either.
So, to me, that comes to kind of a moot point, and we need to just talk about, can we do it, can we not do it? Money should be a part of the discussion, I agree. But that shouldn't be what keeps us from discussing it further to see whether it makes sense to do it or not. And I think it needs to be a discussion with Zach, yourself, and council, and any other commissioner.
Well,
Do they have to be manned?
Yes.
How many employees would that take, Dale? 3?
Zach would be the one to ask.
Yeah, I brought it up at the last commissioner meeting, actually, because you guys budgeted for 10 officers for the new female center. We've got those filled, but Community Corrections is going to pay for 3 of those out of their program funds or whatever. So that leaves us, technically, some funds for 3 officers. I think with 2 officers, we could man that. It's just going to be day shifts, so with 2 officers, we could man that. And we got funds in that jail lit for 10 officers. We're only going to be paying for 7. Community Corrections is paying for 3. So I brought it up at the last commissioner meeting, and we need to definitely discuss that. But I think if Community Corrections pays for 3, we should have money to provide security over here. That's something that needs to happen.
So then the actual cost is only installation of the metal detector? Because you already have the metal detector, we're able to man it, we just need to have it installed. So what's the cost of that?
We could do like Wayne County does, and they just have one entrance.
What should you have to do? You have to close it once.
That would be best, in my opinion.
Lock the front too, and then make them come in the side.
Yeah, I mean, it's 80, that's the only ADA accessible area anyways.
Well, there's a lot of things to be considered there for sure. But as you know, that I always avoid talking about any security measure in a public meeting because you run the risk of inviting something to happen in doing so.
Well, I don't think it's a secret that we don't have metal detectors in the courthouse. I mean, we're not providing any details, plans of to escape or, I mean, for crying out loud, we've got these doors open for how many years and no metal detector. I mean, that's all we're talking about, installation costs for metal detector. We already owned a metal detector. Zach said he's got money for the staff. We just need to make it happen.
Do you remember what the installation cost is? Did you have it or did Zach have it? You know, do we know what the installation cost was?
I don't, didn't Adrian get that metal detector through a grant?
He did.
So we never did have an estimate of what it would cost to install it.
None that I recall, but I know it would.
So will the grant
It was going to
cover it?
involve buildings
No.
and some extra glass wall and stuff out here in the hallway, something inside the doors.
I think it would just be a matter of placing it out there, and then, like you said, adding in the extra walls, we'll just like plug it in and go.
questions, comments? Thank you, Dale. And Dale.
Is that all you need us for?
Well, we'll figure out something, don't go too far.
Okay. Well, I gotta run back across the street. I would like you all to know now that I stopped in Everton the other day and got some nice tomatoes out of Greg Roach's garden and didn't get arrested.
Really?
But I really appreciate them planting tomatoes this year.
I might have to track over there and get some.
And those little yellow ones he's got are delicious. I could eat 100 of them.
Now we'll open up the discussion for the safety, the public safety tax.
The new facility over here, Jane, that's pretty much covered by LIT and the other funds that we've got set aside for it. So we don't have to worry about the safety tax or anything on the sheriff's department. That leaves us with what departments we need to look at to divide them on. 911. There's only 3 or 4 departments that really would need safety and health.
It's the volunteer fire department, the fire departments.
Yeah, the 3 fire
EMS,
departments and the 911.
911, yes. And I'm going to start this off. So, Zach, we had talked about, because you're wanting to competitive hiring and keeping people. So, in saying that, what you had given us an amount a while back that you would like to increase your staff to be competitive in surrounding counties. So how much of what were you asking for in the public safety tax?
In the public safety tax, what I'm worried about is the city police getting 10,000 and us getting 2,000, because I will lose guys that go to the city police. So basically what they get is what I think we need to get. I've heard that the mayor's always said 5,000, that's what he's gonna give. I've heard that they're gonna negotiate and try to get 10 to 12. I don't know if that'll happen, but in my opinion, to be safe, 7,000 for the sheriff's department, that would put us competitive with surrounding counties. Scott brought it up the other day, that Rush County, a jail officer starts off at, I think it was 44, 45, or they're starting off at 36. So 7,000 will get us close to that. I don't expect us to make what they make, even though they have a third of the inmates. But I think 7,000 for road and jail would be sufficient. I hope that 911 also gets what we get. I don't want us to get 7,000 and then only get 3,000. Because they're an extension of us. So I hope that they get about what we get.
And how many employees do you have?
We have 50.
50?
Zach, are you saying out of the public
How many do
safety
you
and then
have?
on top of county general?
7,000 total.
I have 5 on the console and then 6
Is there,
I have more than that, but my part-time, I only raise them like 53 cents. They're not really, I mean,
Yours is considered full-time?
Everybody's full-time, yeah.
Gene, is it possible to put like a pool of money, like 460,000 in your spreadsheet? As we're talking these numbers, like withdraw funds from that to see where we're at?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Could you create like a pool of cash, like $460,000 in your spreadsheet, and as we're talking these numbers, kind of hypothetically,
drag that money out of there.
drag the money out and see if it makes sense, if we're just smoking, whacking? I mean, I don't expect you to rate this very second.
No,
Is it-
well, I'm trying to find really quick, I sent you guys all the spreadsheet with estimating raises. And estimated for the employees that were eligible for, which I'm trying to pull that up right now, the ones that were eligible for public safety tax, I went 2, 3, and 5 in my estimates, I did not go 7, so if I can get that.
Was that, were you saying
We have to
7
go
on
by.
public safety? Because you put 3 in your budget.
Yeah.
I put 3 in the budget just in case something happened with the public safety tax. I had to put in for something. In my opinion, and I'm not, you guys got a tough job, but in my opinion, whatever raises we get should come out of the public safety tax because that gives you more money to give courthouse staff money, pay raises. We're a big department, 50 employees, that's
So you're saying
$7,000
7,000 total?
$5,000.
Yeah, $7,000 total.
That's what I'm
each
gonna ask.
On that chain.
I'm sorry,
What's it looking at
This is
5,000?
right here.
I can't get to my
7 for
tabs.
them, 6 for them.
Oh.
Like I don't know how to do my,
5,000 times 50.
Because this is
It's
total.
$250,000.
No, it's 300, 5,000.
Do you need a recess to look for Jane?
If it's 7,000, it's 392,000.
Which eats up most of the safety tax.
50,
okay.
Zach, you said you got 50 employees.
50, yes, sir.
How about those other 7 employees go hard for the new?
So that 50's total. We had 40,
280,000.
we had to hire 10 more, so we got 50 now.
Okay.
So we'll have a total of 50.
Okay, there's 52.
How many's
for my employees
911
that
got?
be for the public.
6,
6
full-time.
Oh, I
full-time.
have 56. If she has
Okay.
6 full-time, he has 50. I'm just, right now, I was just looking at the,
Yeah, and that's fine.
yeah. So if it's 56, it's 280,000. If it's at 5,000, and then if it's at 7, it's 392,000.
Okay. And you've got to calculate in the 18.85%, which you've already done.
No,
Okay.
no, 8, that would be for the Social Security, Medicare, PERF, all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and that's 18.25?
8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, because like at the.
So it would be above the, what you're asking, you would have to
Cut it back.
put in that also, because that's gonna come out no matter what.
Yeah, so like $5,000 raises, we're gonna cost $309,000.
Just for the sheriff's
what?
department,
No, that would be for 911, sheriff, and jail.
all of them, $395.
At what?
5,000.
$5,000.
On that spreadsheet that I calculated 5, but once you add in the FICA and the PERF, it would total $309,000.
390.
But I was only figuring on 52 employees, so I'm not sure. I mean, I know you're 76, there's a little bit of a difference there.
Right, Kelly said there was 6, so I was just going by
You're up
hers.
to
and then 50.
$400,000.
Well, I've got part-time, but the part-time people make 14 something an hour. I gave them a whole 53-cent raise, they're to make 15. So the part-time, I did not really, part-time was a low budget amount. I was, the public safety tax would be what I would use for my full-time.
So that $309,010, that's before the 18.85%?
No, that was including,
That's including,
that.
and that's at $5,000.
yes,
Okay.
You say 309 or 390?
309.
09.
309.
So, she's making me use my brain.
You know
I'm
where it's
figuring
at?
out.
I lost mine a long time ago, Sharon.
I do all my calculating with the pencil, sorry.
With an eraser.
How much total are we gonna get out of this tax brought in?
Pardon me?
What's the total amount?
490.
526.
526?
Yeah.
Keeps going up.
Do what, Mike?
Did that number go up since yesterday?
I don't know, it's been bounced around.
Well,
was
Looking at their
490 last night.
estimates for the special purpose lit, which is the same percentage as the public safety, if we look at that estimate right now and take our 43%, it would be roughly 526. I mean, but that's an estimate.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that.
No. But I think it would be safe with 500.
500,000.
Okay.
Then you'd have the cushion of the 26,000 just to make sure if everything goes over.
No. Okay, so if you gave $7,000 raises to those 52 employees, it would, including your FICA and your perf, it's gonna be $432,614.
What was it for?
432, 614.
It's like 52 employees.
Yeah. I use existing payroll, so I'm not sure if we're off by 4, but
Well, we still got,
could be, you've got a
we
couple
got
of positions that are
2
sales
boards
that you're
to
counting
consider
that
too.
I didn't. But
Gene, is it doable to do the sheriff's raises? I know that we got public safety tax money, but to me, it looks like we're gonna be cutting it close with 911 and the volunteer fire department.
Yeah.
And then 911, if we could do the raises out of the county general for the sheriff's department and all the other county raises, of course, have to come out of there. But I think when Chad Whitberger was in here talking, I think he's looking for a three-way split between 150,000.
We're looking for $150,000 total, which would be $50,000 per volunteer fire department, based off of the 10% figure of the 500.
So it would be 50 put into 3
150 total.
Right,
And
right.
50 per department, ma'am.
per
Yes.
department. And what kind of a raise is that giving you?
We get nothing right
It's
now.
not a raise, it's all
So they would
volunteer
just-
operating costs.
Oh, you're just wanting operating costs?
Yes,
They don't get paid.
Okay.
due to the new OSHA guidelines that's coming out, that's going to further enhance our budget that is not there money-wise. Because we're looking at $50,000 increases per department to now meet the OSHA guidelines that are coming down, which are new safety guidelines, health and safety, et cetera, to the hydrocarbons and cancer causing agents.
as far as raises.
Yeah. I remember you talking about that when you were here. Okay, because of the OSHA. Yeah. Okay, so it'd be 50,000, so
We'll have to go to the fines on that.
We're gonna have to dip into county general. We're gonna have to dip into county general right now.
Didn't do it.
$5,000.
Right.
Didn't do it.
Right. We're gonna have to dip into county general to satisfy everybody's needs.
Yep, it's supposed to be about $3 million right now, if everything went the way it should. And go back down there again, we start dipping into county general for everything. And Mike, you know as well as everybody else here what you started out with. You start out with $1 or $2 or $3 million, you ain't gonna get through a budget.
so if
Well,
we,
Bob, one of the things we're working on here is the budget that I've done, typically running the past on spreadsheet. Sorry, Sharon.
that's okay.
And that gives us a very accurate number of where we have to be. And they've hit our number every single year, done it that way.
Well, you know as well as I do, we set a budget and people come back in all 12 months saying we need more money. And if we ain't got it, then the county ain't gonna
That's
get things
factored,
done.
that's factored into my budget.
So if we do both, which is, this is where we need to determine what all is going to come out of county. If we do the 3 volunteer, the 150,000, and then the 911 and the sheriff's department, total, right now what they're asking is 542,000. We're only going to get a pot, we're looking at 5,000. And that's at, so we already know that there's about a $42,000 difference that we need to find out where that's going to, if we go with the, it's going, if we're going with 5,000
You
or
know, 911 can't
7,000.
come out of county general.
I can't hear you.
911 can't come out of county general.
Right?
That's come from public safety taxes.
No, I'm just putting the numbers out there.
No,
We got more to think about too.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't been worried about them boilers for years.
Do what now?
You gotta get them in.
Yeah, I get it.
I asked a question. You just mentioned that at 5,000, is that at the 7,000, not the 5?
This,
Because I thought the
let's
5
see,
was like 309 plus
392.
150.
No, that's at
Four.
7.
Okay.
That's at 7, I apologize, did I say 5? That's up to 7, so that's why I said we're either gonna go 5 or 7. We need to, that's what we're gonna have to decide what, to be the comparable to other.
We gotta be comparable to other counties.
I agree. I agree.
Even though they're working on $5 or $10 million more than we are.
Doesn't matter, Bob, we gotta come up with them to keep our people
Well,
from
the
running
taxes need to
there.
be raised about double, then we'll get it done.
Yeah, you know.
We've
Okay,
done it before, Bob, we can figure it out again.
absolutely.
Hey, Sharon, can I ask a question?
Maybe? Yes, you
Mike
can.
Spade said that the 911 is not in the can't be pulled from general fund.
Well, I believe that if we want to use for the raises, that we need to come to the public safety tax. I think about all the departments, that is the one that is the least likely to be able to come out of county general, correct?
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
Why can't they come out?
Because there would be
Because
so
we're not
much.
a part of it.
Because,
Because.
Well, the whole thing is, I mean, other people aren't getting raises, basically. And if we take theirs out of county general, right?
I think the raises for 911 should come out of
Should
public
come
safety
out of it,
tax.
yeah.
Well, I was just talking to Jane, and I added up. I already fund, my budget now, okay? County general don't fund it. My wages right now are roughly $204,000, and I budget that myself. With the raises, I would need around $80,000, and that would do my raises.
Did you say 80
That's what I'm lacking to pay the wage budget. I just was doing it
for the
That's
increase?
strictly, that's not
for the
figured,
increase.
that's not figured in your benefits, insurance and perf and all that
But
stuff.
he should just done it.
So
So
80 would
if you
be
can hand me a
taken
check
out.
for $80,000, I can give my people my raises.
Wish I could.
Yeah.
I just know we've talked about it numerous times in years past about 911, because this isn't the one-time issue. It's been,
The budget was
Since
working
I've been
on
on
now,
council.
and the raises had to be put in for the rest of the departments. We're looking at $11 million budget, we ain't got that.
I think I try to grasp because I know we can't get county general money. And I just want to kind of
Sharon,
be strong about
we
it.
could give the volunteer fire department the $150,000 out of county general.
Yield, if you look at your screens, where we're at with county general right now, with no raises for anybody,
Yeah,
you're at 10.8 right now.
with no raises. And I've heard it said in this council before, we can't give a raise here and not give it here because people are gonna get upset. But that's exactly what we're doing.
No,
There's been
it's
times-
coming from a
no,
different
no.
place. No, we're not
we
doing
did the
that.
jail lit was the same thing. We could only do certain things and we couldn't do
Yeah,
everything because the
it
jail lit
is.
only covered certain things.
It has to be on certain things it's gotta be used for. And the other,
I know that, but that's not what they're thinking over here.
Well, that's why we have to explain it to them.
I mean, they're,
And,
That's
you know,
what
we,
a point I tried to make, but at the time, I was an idiot, so
who said you're an idiot?
I said, talk to them.
So this is,
I'm just saying you can't add a county general when you need to be.
right,
That's not a fundable budget.
right. Right.
Jane, you brought up at last night's meeting exactly the law, the divisions that's allowable by the emergency service tax, correct?
Yeah. There's-
I don't remember each division, but you still have that little thing that you stated yesterday?
Yeah, hold on just a second. I mean, it's Indiana code.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, but I can't remember exact wording on it.
yeah.
I have that paper somewhere. Is it the one you sent us, I believe?
There's 14 lines that public safety could be used for. So police and law enforcement, firefighting and fire prevention, emergency ambulance service, emergency medical service, emergency action as defined by another specific IC code, the probation department of a court, confinement supervision services under community corrections, juvenile detention facility, juvenile detention center, a county jail, a communications system, which goes on to explain basically 911, medical and health expenses for jailed inmates and other confined persons, pension payments for any of the following: member of a fire department, member of a police department, county sheriff, or other member of the office of the county sheriff, other personnel employed to provide a service described in this section, and then law enforcement training. Or what?
It's a lot of areas to cover.
Refers to. It's, I mean, it could be.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, she's here.
So how are they getting boilers out of that?
Jail, but it says county jail.
But that's not talking about,
Health and safety.
This is public safety defined, refers to the following, and number 10 is a county jail. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me, but it's the IC
you tell
code.
me.
I think the same thing when it says we can pay medical expenses for jailed inmates. I don't know how they consider that public safety, but it's right there in black and white.
Is that covering any of the emergency vehicles, or emergency commissioners?
You're at 385.
There's a lot of areas we need to look at in a six.
Those two. So that was this.
I mean, you can put it in one or two places, so that's what they don't do.
That's not counting social security.
Oh, yeah.
My thing is I'm like, and this is my opinion, but I feel like that people deserve to get this money, not boilers, and not, I mean, this is me speaking. Y'all can have your own opinion, but it's like,
I agree.
there's
I agree
other
too, Sharon.
maintenance money, there's other that it should be used for.
I agree.
I agree.
So I'm like, here we wanted to be able to raise people. We want competitive salaries. We want people to be here. We want to help them. I mean, don't get me going on the boilers.
Absolutely. Well stated.
I'm just saying.
Can I clarify with you?
Pardon me?
You say people, volunteer fire departments are asking for, basically that's insurance needs and for operating costs, equipment. But in the long run, it's helping people that they are responsible to protect.
That's protection of the people.
I just want to clarify that because
Yes. I mean,
So,
in any other
are you-
situation, that would be basically the same thing as a raise.
well, it could be interpreted as she wasn't in favor of equipment. So
Well,
That's what
I know, but
She's talking about the boilers.
I think, we're pretty much
I'm
in
talking
agreement.
about
We've got to take
maintenance.
care of the fire department.
That has been needed to be done for how many years? And now we have this money and they want to fix the boilers now.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about.
That's all I'm talking about.
She wasn't talking about the fire department.
I mean,
well, that should have been the plan years ago. There should have been a plan for that.
exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. And now we have the means to help, the people in the.
Protection of people.
Yeah.
And I will say that, I won't state it quite so eloquently as Tim did a couple nights ago. I'll smooth it up a little bit and take off the rough edges in email.
Surely not.
But I do agree that there should be a long-term plan for the
Yes.
county and what needs, and the points that needs to be done. It doesn't need to be done today or tomorrow, but
No.
what are we looking at
Plan.
long-term? That's what I'm asking about the annex building. I understand it's a historical building, but I don't see a lot of people going on a weekend trip and saying, hey, kids, let's go see a jail.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm a big, huge history buff. I love history. I mean, preserving. I was instrumental in the Miller Building up at the park with the city, and I'm going on that. But it was gonna cost us $300,000 to fix the building over there, which it probably is not too far off. you know, wouldn't it make more sense to,
And the consistent upkeep of that,
it's an old building.
yes.
You're talking about ADA compliance with the restrooms. There's no way you're gonna get the ADA compliant over there.
No.
And that's it irritates me about this kind, we do stuff half-assed.
Let's bulldoze it.
That cost you $300,000.
Fire departments can burn it down.
That was a
for free.
joke. That was a joke.
One-time payment though.
Okay, where are we
Let's go back
going
to the
with
safety
this?
tax.
Sharon, you wanna take a 10-minute recess? You wanna take a 10-minute recess?
Yeah, let's do. 10-minute recess, be back here, what's actually gonna be about 13 minutes, you got 6:30, be back in here. Okay, we're going to resume our meeting. Is everybody in here? I don't know where Kay is. Okay, now. Resuming. So is this something, I mean, we're gonna have to discuss this further, I'm sure, or, what's your comments on all this, Mike?
Well, I think we're back to kind of square one, like I mentioned yesterday. We kind of need to understand what we can pay out of public safety. We understand. But I'd like to talk about raises. If we do all the raises from the sheriff's department out of public safety tax, then that affects the 911 and the firefighters potentially. If we do 911 out of public safety tax and take care of the firefighters, then how much do we have left to deal with for raises for the sheriff's department and jail staff?
I'm listening.
So it all kind of intertwined, so me personally, I think we need to understand, the first pin to go down, domino to go down to is the volunteer fire departments. What do we think is a good number? Do you, like you say, should we do it on a percentage? Do we do it on a flat number? When Chad Ripperger made his presentation, and I understand the costs that are associated with this stuff because I was in it, and I am separating myself from that as a taxpayer as well too. But these costs that they're having possibly incur here for volunteer department, that guys are getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Some of them are farmers, some of them are farmers and have jobs. I'm not saying they'll wear a cape, but they do a lot, and they leave their families at all different times. And all they're asking for is, you see them bust their butts, everywhere you go, in a small community, you drive to Indiana, any state in the United States, pancake breakfast, pork chop dinner, breakfast, this, that, and that's all funds that are being raised because the counties, at least in Indiana, aren't being supported by local governments. And maybe some aren't being supported by county, but in our case, it's not. And I've always wondered why that wasn't the case. So they're taking time away from their families to get ready, prepare for these breakfasts, and they're 5 or 6 in the morning, all day long, clean up and stuff. And something like this comes along, it would go a great way to be having a couple less fundraisers, which means more time with their family and more time towards training, things of that nature, because they have the same training requirements as a paid firefighter. It doesn't change.
I totally agree, you don't have to convince me.
I don't mean either, I want to help them too.
Bottom line, you have to have them.
Right.
Yeah,
So, what is that number? Because once you, and I'm not saying, we could sit here and say tonight it's going to be 40,000, 30,000, 50,000, whatever that number is. We know that number can move based upon some of the other things, but to me that's the first puzzle piece. The second puzzle piece is 911. Then you work off of that. Because we can't take salary out of the 911, out of the county general. But we can't take out the public safety tax.
So she said all she needs is 80,000.
But some of the others, we can take out.
You need
Yeah.
80,000.
Sheriff's Department.
So we had added her.
Mike, do you mind if I say something? So, I'm one with Glenwood. I'm also one of the paramedics at Bay County EMS. I'm also the unit steward for the unit. I know without these guys here in this room tonight, as well as the ones that couldn't make it, there is no way that the EMS unit can respond in an effective manner without these gentlemen here. Whether it's, you know, if somebody calls, you know, there's someplace out in the county, it's gonna take me 25 minutes to get there. These guys are true lifesavers when it comes to that. So I do wanna say thank you to all of them. I think they deserve well more than what anyone will ever be able to give them. But it is important that we start looking at doing what we can when we can, and I think this opportunity came along that, you know, all these guys here, I'm sure would be very grateful. I know they spend time away from their family, they put money out of their own pocket to do this when they don't have to. They don't have to answer that call when it comes out. This is a calling to them, and we're grateful for it, so I just wanted to make that comment.
There's not a one of you that wouldn't put your life on the line to save my grandbaby in a burning house. How do you put a price on that?
And we all appreciate you guys in every way possible. It's just trying to make the numbers work. It's very hard on our side.
We understand that, we just think that, you know, this money is, you know, obviously came available, earmarked for safety.
If we could cross funds and solve everything.
And when it comes to the sheriff's department, we can't.
You see that right there?
Just.
Yeah. We haven't even do the second half of it, so what we can cut it on.
That's something.
I don't know.
I say we do the 150.
I would be careful with your time, because I know this is like, we already have a plan to try to do expenses back in the county general.
Part of it's there, and then
One
part
part
of
had.
kind
We
of.
could take out the county jail for the sheriff.
Now, there's one there, one had a count on
We
that.
could boost that over.
It's part of what they call like the dog park plan.
Proposal.
Can't have help. That number's gonna come down.
For him.
So we'll have to do something somewhere else.
We need to cut. It was gonna be that in the back half.
We do this in 5. Okay.
That is including 99 for getting so if you did that, then you've only got, what, 60 some left for the volunteer part? If you did it that way.
Ease some of the tensions. And I think it can be done.
Okay.
Hang on. That's the first thing, y'all, that is how much you agree on. And then go from there.
Whether it's gonna be 5 or 7.
That needs hammered out first. I think.
So on, in saying all this, this is just something that I've been throwing at Jane here. I think we should establish the volunteer fire department to begin with. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
The fund that we take $5,000 out of, or 15 out of for the volunteer departments for tree removal and so forth,
Highway.
Which, do you know which page it is? I'm unable to find the,
I want to say the general and industry. Yeah, it's the last line on the general and industry, page 46.
$4,500.
so without addressing all of the budget issues in there, is there any way that we could burden that a little bit more by doubling that to 30?
Let's see, looking at. Which one? Let's see, looking at.
Highway, general and undistributed.
What's the account number?
46.
Idea's dead.
Huh?
Idea's dead. It was tight last year, wasn't it?
I've had some trouble.
No.
That is that the 3204? Is that what you're looking at?
That's what Mike's talking about, but I'm saying Fund 1176 can't support any more.
Okay. So 15,000 of the highway goes to volunteer fire department?
Yeah, it's like mutual aid contracts.
Split 3 ways.
Yeah, they get 5,000 each.
Sharon, what that's for is it was set up to save some of the overtime in the county. When severe weather, we have trees, lines go down. A lot of times also, you can't do anything with the tree, even though, say, the county would be there because there's power lines in it until they can get available. So we go out, sit and wait, cut the tree up, remove it, instead of you guys paying overtime out of the county highway budget. That was set up with Russ Seidel several years ago. He was a member of the council and or commissioner at the time. But that was the $5,000. I guess the bad definition would be almost like a $5,000 stipend per department for doing that. If that is the correct wording.
So if you don't use it, like if you don't have, you still get it, right? 5,000?
Yeah.
If it's out of this funding or not?
We get the 5,000 every year,
We
and
don't do that.
since the big tree diseases went through here and everything's dying, it gets well used. All the departments are out multiple times, and just like the power outage, you know, you might sit for 8, 9 hours without power. Well, we're sitting along the road, sometimes 4 to 5, waiting on the power company to get there before we can even cut it up. So, yeah.
I can vouch, when we have storms, every one of the volunteer fire departments are balls to the walls. They have at least, 8 calls on the screen each department. They're out doing the tree cutting, the clearing the roadway. They're out there. Manpower, tools. Okay.
Okay.
What did I give you?
Sharon, we don't turn the report saying exactly how many times we was out. I mean, we've never been asked to turn that in. We was out 30 times last year, or anything like that. That's what we're asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know you're out there. I see you. You was out there at my house. The last, we had a really bad storm. The tree, we couldn't even get out of our road. You guys came out and did it, so I get it. Did you have another question about that, Mike, or a comment?
No. I was just seeing if we could maybe offset a little bit of that cost by increasing that. Some public safety, but yeah, that won't work, so.
Okay.
I think given the state of the 1176 budget, commissioners were hoping you would take the 15 out of there.
Wondered about that too. So what are we waiting on here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do we do?
I'm just waiting to see if anybody else has comments. I know what I think we should do. So, I mean,
Spill the beans.
What's that?
I think they should get the 50,000 apiece.
I do too.
That's my opinion. I mean, it is what it is. OSHA's coming down. I mean, there again, are we gonna be, you know, ready for them? If they don't get the money, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna be able to keep the fire departments going? And,
Good to them.
I mean, that's my opinion. So, comments now.
I'm with you.
Jim?
Money's there,
Huh?
money's there.
Mike?
I see, well, I'm going to kind of abstains, so.
You can't vote on it.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's a starting point.
Yeah.
And we worked through some numbers, but that's a starting point, and that's what we needed, was a toehold to now proceed. The next step to me is not 911.
You need a motion?
Pardon me?
You need a motion.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Want to make a motion? I can't hear you, okay?
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I
Right, we need a motion to, yes.
I'll make a motion that we give $50,000 each to the 3 fire departments out of the public safety tax.
I'll give a second.
Jim gives second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, we're done.
One abstention.
We do want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, like I said, this can change, but it's a starting point.
It's a starting point.
We could take it all away.
We just saying this to get you out of the room.
It's on public record. They're being televised, right?
Now, you know, I'm rural. I appreciate what you do, man.
Thank you all very much.
All right,
My house is on fire. You sure know a lot more about putting it out than I do,
so
so.
should we move on to 911 now? Mike, do we want to go in 911? You guys
Sure.
say? Request, I have so much written down, I don't know which is.
We're gonna look at her actual budgets or this one. It's 57 and 58.
7 and 58.
Why don't we take the sheriffs out of the public safety and put 911 in county general?
I put 911 in what?
911 in county general and sheriff department and public safety.
How would you do that?
They need to go someplace.
Well, public safety tax takes care of 911.
I don't
I don't understand the logic behind that.
Well, we do 911 through public safety.
Right.
But the
Then
thing
what we-
with
Then what we
Kelly,
can, that's the sheriff's department out of public
with
safety.
Kelly right now, with her budget,
County
when
general.
she got here. Okay, come up here.
She wants $80,000.
Right, so, with Kelly, with her budget, all she needs is, she's not asking for the entire, what would that have been? You have 6 employees times,
I'm asking for 83,
yeah, it'd be.
because I support 204,000 in my budget. So I would just need the money to make up for the raises.
So you're saying all you need is 83?
I'm not saying that's no money, I mean, yeah. Jane just figured it for me, and that includes the social security and the retirement.
Yeah, that's everything.
That's the percentage added into that. I gave my part-timers raises, but they were only 53 cents, and I can support that myself too, makes it $15 an hour. So my budget can support that 53-cent raise. I'm doing just full-time on the public safety tax.
And we're dealing with 500,000 is where?
So I made it, what was the figure, 233?
233, that
And
would
then
be
we're-
with the
yeah.
volunteer fire department and 911 both. And that is including her perf, all of her social security.
So how much is that pushing each of your employees up?
We are competitive with Rush County. Rush County makes 43, they'll make 42. And that's exactly where we need to be.
So that'll put them to 42.
Yep. I've lost 3 to Rushville just because you can walk in there and get it. At 42 was when I lost the other 2 people. They went to 43, but that's fine. I mean, we're still at that competitive area.
What's your jailer, Zach?
Yeah, again, I hate to do it, but I know Kelly is fighting for her people, but a dispatcher should not make more than a jail officer. I'll say that. I'll die on that cross, I guess, but a jail officer, I've been told that dispatchers have to walk people through 911. They have to talk to people that are fighting. A jail officer has to actually do CPR. They actually have to cut people down. I think Kelly her dispatcher should make a competitive wage, but it should never be more than a jail officer. I've had 2 dispatchers come over and work at the jail years ago, and it lasted about 2 weeks and quit.
Well, those people, the part-time aren't getting the raise.
It's a tough job. It's a tough job. The jail officer is.
Oh, I-
So is 911.
I
So
totally
is
agree.
So is 911.
But a
But-
jail officer is hands-on.
Yeah.
Jane has a new total.
And I completely agree that she
Jane
needs
has a
raises,
little bit of a new
but it
total.
shouldn't be more than a jail
Um,
officer.
I was a little high on the money. What was that? It was 66 plus
78, 441.
78, 441.
So it's not 83. It's what?
78, 441.
But that still puts them at 42.
Jail officer makes 36.
How much, Zach?
36,000 what the jail officer
Okay,
makes.
so what does the surrounding counties make on the jailers, do you know?
45, 47.
Yeah, but you could probably bump yours up to 42. 36 to 42,
Again,
that's at 5,000.
I still think the jail officer should make more than a dispatcher. That's just,
Well,
again, I
that's your
hate to do that to
opinion.
Kelly, but.
No, you're.
And I know they need to make 42, but if that's the case, then a jail officer should make at least 40, 44, 45. I mean,
Zach, why did you only ask for 3?
what's that?
He didn't.
I just asked for 3 in the county general budget because I was told pay raises would come out of the public safety tax.
Oh, we need to refigure your budget.
So, now, and I'm just saying this, I'm not saying we're doing this. So if we went with 7 and he was getting 3 anyway, that would raise it up 10,000. And that would put him at 46. And that is the competitive pay raise of surrounding counties. And I'm not saying that's what we're gonna do, but that's the whole issue
good.
here. And the 3,000, you was asking for that from the county general?
Yeah.
Okay,
I just put in for 3,000 just in case something happened to the public safety tax because we were all under the assumption the public safety tax was going to pay for our raises.
okay.
So, but I was told to put in for a raise.
So, and I'm just putting this out there, because I'm like everybody else, I mean, I know we need to be competitive. Is there any way that some of that money, because that's what I was telling Jane, and correct me if I'm wrong, can maybe some of it come out of the lit fund? So we could,
I put in for $3,000 for the 10 officers out of the lit fund too.
you what?
I put in for 3,000 out of the lit fund also, so.
Okay, so you're already asking for 6, right? I mean, if you ask for county and then the lit fund, so that would be 6. And then if we had 5, that's 11,000. If,
I put in for 3,000 out of the lit, there's 10 jail officers in the lit. And then I put in for 3,000 out of our jail budget
Right.
also.
right.
So
So
it's
I'm
just
saying
$3,000
for
bonus.
It's not 6. He's
Take that deep breath.
different employees.
Maybe you can smoke
It's
break.
not 6 for the employees. It's the employees here, he asked for 3, and the employees over here, he asked for 3.
For 3.
Yeah,
So-
so he's just requested 3 out of other budgets, expecting the difference in public safety.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, so the other, to make up for that, that additional out of public safety would be 5,000. 5 to
So-
7,000. I'm
How much-
totally confused here, forget it.
How much do we have in cash reserved, so to speak, in the jail lit? And still following the John Clark plan?
Okay, right now, our balance in jail lit is $1,100,000.
So you're figuring the raises all come out in jail lit?
I was figuring the 10 employees in jail lit, $3,000 raises for them out of that fund. And I was gonna hope that the jail tax, the public safety tax
Would
was
pick
going to
up
pick up everything.
For the
Or
jail-
supplement,
For the jail staff, not the sheriff's department right now.
sheriff and jail.
Hmm?
Sheriff and jail.
It'd be the 52 employees,
Yeah,
So if we just did, if we did
50
the raise
employees.
for the jail staff strictly out of the jail lit, and didn't touch public safety tax, because right now we got 265 and 270,000 left in this public safety tax fund.
If you're gonna give them 10, what do you think, 520,000?
No, there's only 10 jail officers in that jail lit.
Oh, not 50.
So if you gave them 10,000, it's $100,000 out of the jail lit.
Okay.
Is that doable, Jane?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you just said.
If we took the full raise that Zach is looking for, not for the jail staff only, did not take it out of public safety, but took it strictly out of the jail lit, is that doable? And still be able to meet our obligations that we agreed to with jail staff for the women's work release?
How much are you wanting to give out of this?
What was your total raise you're looking for jail staff?
10, I mean, if she's gonna, if 911 is going to get 10,000, then I think our jail staff should get
Take your
10,000.
max 10,000.
I think our jail and road should get 10, I mean,
That
Well, I'm
would,
just
that,
worried
your
about- I'm worried
50
about-
is in there.
I'm worried about one fund at a time right now, which, so we can, there's not enough money in public safety tax to do everything you want to do here. But we have a jail lit fund that's specifically for the jail, so if the funds are available for the pay raises, let's take that money from there and take those pay raises
So you
there.
got 10 jail staff, right?
I got 10 that get paid out of the jail lit. I have
So it's 100,000, 10 apiece, right?
27 that get paid out of our jail budget. I think, is that right? No?
Is that the new ones over, that's gonna be over at the women's?
The 10, yes.
Yeah.
they're- yeah. Which we've already hired them and they're training now. So the total jail staff is 36, I think, 36, 37. So if you took all 10 of that out of the jail lit, that's about $360,000. Jan, you probably got a ratio.
I do, and I'm using
I'm
it.
just talking strictly raises, I don't care who's getting paid out of what, it's fun.
Yeah.
Jail staff comes, it's.
Okay, so for 36 staff members at $10,000 raises, including the FICA and PERF on top of that, would be $427,860.
And can we still meet our obligations with, that we've, kind of backed ourselves into for the staffing needs of the jail?
No.
Well, I just need the honest answer, I don't, because we've got to figure,
I mean, okay, we know jail lit is going away. So on the spreadsheet, what you call the John Clark plan, every year we were supposed to be moving 50,000 out of this budget back into county general. So if you add $427,800 to this budget, I mean, you're,
more move.
which you can do until the 22nd year when this expires, and then what do you do?
If there's 52,
Well, we did.
52 employees and you're giving them.
We let those people at that time worry about it.
Give them
There you go.
$10,520.
That's true, I will not be here.
Me neither.
I know I won't.
Hey, we're taking care of meetings right now, we're gonna do like the future past councils have done.
How much do we have of the public safety left after that?
We don't have, we only got 270.
About 200, yeah, about 270.
Okay, so if you use the rest of the public safety tax on the 520, which is 52 employees at $10,000, you only need 250,000 from someplace.
Only need,
Well, I'm just, okay.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
I'm not
that's all.
saying
That's
only
money for
like it
me.
doesn't matter, but I'm just saying
Did you add
that
in
you
the
have
FICA?
the jail lit.
Did you add in the FICA and all that too?
Well, I took what, no, I did not, so
18.85%.
you're gonna need
18.85%.
$268 or something, I don't know what the percentage was you did.
I know you think 1 and 1 makes 3, but
I know. Well, I just did it that way to round it
Raises
up.
coming up. Put it in there. 11.1, we still got raises to put in for the other departments.
Need $156,000.
How much?
$156,000.
Okay.
You start getting county general, you're going up about $3 million, people come in a lot of money.
And asking for, just to be honest, asking for $10,000 pay raises, they're gonna kill me, but almost sounds like we're being a little stingy. 7,000 is a heck of a pay raise, 10,000 is a ridiculous pay raise. But the ultimate goal is to get us competitive,
Yep.
but to also be able to give everybody else here a little something. I mean, giving us $10,000 pay raises and then giving all the courthouse staff nothing is.
The courthouse staff is not to be included in that tax.
The general fund, we're gonna have to break the general fund for something, and it's like we're being a little stingy. And
I guess what
for my 50 employees, again, she can speak for hers, but to me, yeah, I would love $10,000 pay raises for all our guys, and if you guys wanna give that,
It's
fantastic.
called being competitive and maintaining your staff. You know, I know that you've had turnover, I had turnover.
Yeah.
And you cannot have dependable people if you have to have somebody come in every other day and relearn everything we're supposed to learn, and that's why things get screwed up.
And I'm not saying it's gonna be 10,000.
No, yeah.
But it is, the people that are getting compensated is public safety. So, and if we are looking at public safety, then, you know, what's the cost? That's just my opinion.
We got about $350,000 to divide up between 50-some employees, so.
That's $7,000. But, like you had made the comment, 911 will be making more than your,
If 10,000 and 7,000 for us, yeah, then.
yeah. So that's gonna be a determining factor on, because people who quit the sheriff's department go to 911. I mean, it'd be a lot less hassle. I mean, just saying.
those jail staff have to do a lot, especially
Yes,
besides
they do.
CPR, you've got those bodily fluids and other bodily issues that
Yeah.
people deal with that nobody else has to deal with.
Oh, I wouldn't want that job, no.
As I agree with Zach, it's nothing against 911, but
Yeah, nothing against Kelly there.
Right.
She's got tough time, they got tough time.
I'm not taking it as that. so.
It's, again, I think there should be a little bit of a pay difference. There's a difference between a jail officer and a road deputy. There's a reason, because a road deputy has a lot more responsibility, and it's a tougher job, so. It's just the way it's set up.
And that's why we're discussing this, because we want to set that bar where it needs to be. And that's the whole discussion.
And Mike brings up a good point. If you take those 10 jail officers in jail lit and add the pay raise that you take out of the public safety tax, that takes away, if it is 7,000, that takes away $70,000, and maybe that makes the remainder of the public safety tax work. I just hate to break into county general fund if we don't have to.
Well, one thing too, this is just something to think about. I mean, should it be based on years of experience? I mean, you take a jail.
They get longevity pay that
Do
accounts
they?
for their.
And we have our
experience.
tier systems based on experience.
See, we don't at 911, but 911 departments all around us do get longevity. Union County just, they did longevity, we don't have that.
You have people that are long enough to get it.
That's one thing I would like to see the courthouse people get is some longevity because
But
there's
yeah,
people who've been
911
here.
doesn't have the longevity. We don't have uniform pay. The little knitting pieces inside what the officers get, which again, we're not.
Any longevity should be a bonus, not a salary,
I
because
agree.
that goes on forever, where a bonus is just, you've been here, here's a bonus.
But it's
for
still
you.
incorporated inside your, your time on or however you
I
want to look at it.
disagree with Bob.
Yeah.
I disagree with Bob.
Well, that ain't the first time that's happened, is it?
Longevity.
Salaries
is-
go on forever. You know,
Yes,
it
so
would be a
does
good
longevity.
idea to read your Bible.
So does longevity.
Remember, Joseph, the good years you're conservative, and the bad years you've got money to work with. But that's what the Bible says. Can't believe what that says. That book's already been thrown out.
Well, we're going to go back to the budget here, and we're going to go back to the public safety tax. We're not going to talk Bible. So,
What about,
Might be some good lessons in it.
the numbers that kick around minimum 6 for pay raise for 911?
okay, Mike, you're gonna have to say that again so I can hear you.
6,000 per individual for 911 for pay raise, that puts it at 38. How close does that get us to, like, say, Rush County?
Rush is at 43 and they're doing their budget right now too, so they'll be probably, they increase by percentages because of where they're at. So like one year it was 2.5, the other year was, so they'll be
We've
at.
talked about this for years with the county, all the county people as well too. We can't just take a big jump and get where you need to be.
Right.
It's gotta be incremental, make sure we can sustain it.
I understand that.
Just next year, and I think,
And I know that Jane has said that over the last 10 years, our department has gotten different times, but this is my 3rd year that I've came for the same money and we've been told no. And now we got the tax that hopefully I
The tax
thought
will
will
automatically
fix the 911 issue because I can't just say take some of it out of county general. I wish I could, but I can't.
the public safety tax is not a magic bean to fix everything.
No, but it does help.
Right, and I think in years you've been told no, because we didn't have any money to do that, but I think if we want to kind of spread the wealth, so to speak, at a starting point, look, if you'd say 38 versus 42, because personally, and that's not, I don't think they're worth it. I don't see 42 happening.
That would say 24,000.
And I gotta be realistic to what other people are having to do in the first responder line of things. So the jail staff has to deal with a lot of crappy stuff.
Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine.
And I'd say maybe 6 or 7 for each, for jail staff. But then we just,
And they're at 30, they start at 36, you said, right?
And here's the thing, Kelly. We're not even in the first year of the public safety tax, so like the jail lit. That could go up quite a bit. Maybe Jane, like Jane said, it's an estimate. She's pretty darn good at estimating.
I know she is.
But let's say, she's always been conservative, and I've tried to be conservative on numbers of the budget. If that goes up quite a bit more, we actually receive more, and that's to be addressed to you next year.
But we can't do the jail lit. We were never,
No, I'm talking about this public safety tax. The numbers that Jane's estimated could be, maybe we bring in 580,000.
Or 380 if everybody gets unemployed next year. We'll go through a recession.
But we've always kind of seen that Jane's kind of shot a little low on the number, but always comes in better. So I think for both departments, that's something to consider down the road. This is not
They'll get 580,000.
the end of the road for you. It's just the beginning, and that's a heck of a help.
oh, I agree.
I mean, I know it's not 10, but I just don't think, I think 8 is a reach. Because the jail needs a raise and the sheriff's department needs something, and all county, everybody in county needs to be addressed. That's my thoughts.
And Rush County is also paying off a new jail too. And I've talked to Rush County people and they're getting upset because of the taxes over there right now. So you might be seeing back off of some of this stuff.
Possibly. I don't know how,
They're
I don't know how they pay their employees. I don't know.
They have more revenue than we do.
Well, they
Millionaire
get the
farmers.
state money like I get the state money. They're a separate entity. They have a city dispatch and they have a county dispatch. They are not central. They have two. So city pays for their dispatch, county pays for their dispatch.
Have you traveled on State Road 3 out of Rushville? They're building factories.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
Rush County's population is near what we get though.
Yeah,
That's how
but they've got factories coming in right and left.
I don't know why we couldn't have them.
Well, that's a good question, Kelly. That's a good question.
I see somebody running around saying they're trying to, okay, no. Yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts are just put jail staff at, or 911 at 6, jail staff and sheriff at 8 for right now. Yeah, it's just kind of a starting point.
What did you say? Start jail at 8? Is that what you said, or did you say
And
7?
911 at 6.
Okay.
As
And
a
then
start.
Jail at 8?
It's just a starting point.
Right, I'm just saying that.
I don't want to go less than that if we can, but you know, we'll go the full story once we get some more of the budget.
Right.
Kelly, does that, I know it's not what you want.
I mean, I'm not gonna scream and shout about it. I appreciate whatever you're gonna figure out for us, so that's fine.
I mean, to me, that's the bottom point. I'd like to go up if we can, but we got a lot of numbers to juggle around.
I understand.
44,000.
The starting point's fine, and do what you need, and whatever we come out with, it will be what we start with.
You got a lot of people here that are behind you, they're in your corner.
Oh, I know. I'm not a bit.
And I know the importance of being firsthand, and Kay's worked on it for a little while.
I'm not a fighter. I appreciate it.
It is a good start, for sure. I don't think anybody's gonna complain.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So that takes us to what, 438,000 of that? No. I'm wrong. Of 8 and 6. That's right.
Zach, how's that make you feel?
So it's,
I came in here saying that I wanted everybody to get the same pay raise, and I'll stick with it. I think, and I appreciate Mike, I really do appreciate it, but I think that what they get, we should get, vice versa. I really do think that. I feel that that should happen.
You don't need.
There's already a pay gap between us now, so, but you guys do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You're in control of it.
In the end, it could be just that. It could be matching.
Yeah, it could change.
then we have EMS also.
Well, EMS, we don't give them raises. And since James are so
But we don't
close,
have to give them public safety tax, do we?
we can just, I think just keep it as is.
Right.
Because we've been pretty close. I thought we were just bigger difference in that, but if we're like 5,000 off one year and 50 or something the other year, we're pretty close. We just leave it at that number.
Percentage of public safety tax.
Talk about them, they've been here.
Say yes.
Like everything else, so I'm not talking about that.
So where are we at right now? We can have further discussion. So, further comments?
We need to discuss it more.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. On the public safety, so like when this budget was submitted, they had like, it just says vehicle, but it could be equipment, it could be any type of a capital asset. But you guys are all agreed you don't want to spend anything on capital assets, right? So that 100,000 in that line can be moved up here to salary?
That was my opinion. The board hasn't, I think Tim agreed with me, but I don't know about the others. Did you hear what she said?
No.
They didn't hear you.
I heard.
Is everyone in agreement that they don't want to spend any of the public safety money on capital assets? Like when the requested budget was submitted, it had 100,000 of the 500 to be spent on capital assets.
Who was requesting it? The commissioners?
Commissioners submitted that budget.
At this time, I'd say, I want to take care of people.
Okay, so then I moved that 100,000 up to the 350.
We already know
For the
Sharon
salary line.
hates equipment, so.
Do what?
Especially them boilers.
You hate equipment.
Well, I mean, that's a good way of execution, stick them in jail and unfreeze to death, that's good. I mean, you don't have to go up public execution or
Maybe they'll
anything.
learn not to come back.
We are
More
on,
housekeeping, more
we are on
services
live
don't come back.
TV.
I go in there on Sunday nights, I know what's like in there, okay, you freeze to death in the winter time.
Okay. So we have agreed then, we're gonna put the $100,000 back in.
Do we need to set anything aside for metal detector? You've got that covered, Zach.
People
Yeah.
wise,
You,
yes.
Yeah, me and Chad can put it up.
oh,
No,
As
we're
far
talking.
as far as staffing it,
Yes.
Yeah,
again, as long as community corrections pays for their 3, there should be money to hire at least one person.
Okay.
And hopefully it could be a part-time person, because it's not 36, 35 hours a week.
yeah.
So that would help with benefits.
Is it even possible to take in volunteers for that?
Volunteers for courthouse security?
I don't
I
think
would say
so.
don't do is probably carry a weapon.
Yeah.
What are they
they're
gonna do if they get somebody who's squirrely?
I'm saying like civil defense or something like that.
EMA?
I doubt it.
No.
It's gotta be somebody I deputized.
Hey, civil defense?
Somebody doesn't lose their management.
Years ago, they actually suggested that when Adrian was here. That was the suggestion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know.
That what?
When Adrian was still the EMA, that was discussed.
Security.
Putting
That
him
he
there.
would be.
She said that when Adrian was in office AMA, that's who they was going to man it.
That was actually brought up
That was discussed.
then.
But
And you believe that?
I'm just saying it was
Yeah.
brought up.
she's keeping up minutes.
That's why I said it, because I remember him saying it.
You remember Mike saying that?
No, oh, Adrian.
Okay. Now what? Do we need, this will be further discussed,
Well, Scott's not here.
but we have it, right, but we have a
We have the
start.
groundwork,
We
we
kinda
have
have-
the basis of a
yeah.
foundation to move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which again is what I wanted to do yesterday, so we could proceed, because now we kind of got the gist of where we want to be,
yeah.
and then we can go forward, then we can have Jane tell us, no, you can't do that.
Right,
But we got the gist of where
right.
we
Of
want to
what
be.
we're gonna be doing.
Now we can go to the departments.
Okay.
So you're done with everybody here?
It's 7:30.
Do what?
I won't set a date for me to back here again.
No, I think we should, I'm okay to stay.
Till when? Midnight, I'll probably need to call home.
We were here late Thursday, like last night, almost 8 or 8:30 last night.
It's 8 last night, yeah. 8, yeah. Is everybody good, stay till 8 o'clock?
We need Scott here.
You're the boss, applesauce.
Boiler lady.
All right, you guys ain't gonna let me live that down.
What?
Boiler lady.
Boiler lady, yeah.
Okay, so we got a foundation here. So do we want to start going back through in departments now then? Does anybody, on what we've been discussing, are there any comments that y'all want to make? If so, if not, we're good. Are you good, Zach?
Okay.
Okay. The volunteer fire department?
we're happy, thank you very much.
Okay, 911, okay. At least we got the foundation laid and we're gonna move forward. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's do this.
We're all this much right because here's the
You would never, didn't have to be here.
I know we didn't
You
have
can
to
be
be.
dismissed anytime you want.
I know, but maybe we want to state it if we miss something else.
Oh, yeah, you
Might.
wouldn't miss it in the budget hearing.
Yeah.
You can't sleep
Under
without
the
it.
John Clark clause, I walked out of here with a raise and the next day I didn't have one.
Oh my.
That was bad.
It was. It was a whole unanimous, we got it. And I left happy. Next thing you know, boom, no.
That was buyer's remorse. After you were gone, everybody started second guessing themselves.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay, so where do we want to start, or do y'all want to start, or do you want to?
Where'd you leave off yesterday?
Well, we completed.
Finished it with the
We
commissioners.
finished it with the commissioners today. So now we've got the groundwork for the public safety tax. So now we need to go in and see how we're gonna do the county general.
Dale,
Jane?
I'd like to ask Dale a question if I could, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Since you're the only commissioner representative here right now, we need somebody to kind of drive the truck, so to speak, on the commissioner side to get some of these things moving, like a list, like Tim, I don't know if you know, went to, but just kind of, what do we expect it to cost? I understand Dale wants to keep it to the historical building, but sometimes
She was here for the
the
district.
practicality of trying to fix something, I mean, you're a farmer, and if you got a tractor that's the 1920s, are you gonna keep fixing it? I mean, when you can't keep with your neighbors with,
Well, I know what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, we can get you a list. I mean, we've got part of it now. We've got some of the costs, like the tuck point. It took us, what, 2 years to get a company to finally come in and paint the trim.
oh, I know.
I mean, we've been trying and just, you can't get people to give you quotes anymore.
Because I'm
Some will, some won't.
gonna guess, I'm gonna say I'm pretty 100% accurate, with a veteran architecture field. The efforts you pull in to get that building up to ADA compliance and just fixed in general are gonna far outweigh
Right,
the practicality of it.
waste of money.
And look at replacing it with something that's more practical, where we can get people in there, where we can meet our ADA compliance issues. I mean, just the restrooms alone, trying to get them ADA compliant would be blowing out walls and all kinds of stuff, and it's an old building.
Yeah.
You've only got so much room you can go.
Well, what, 10, 12 years ago, they said they couldn't fix the elevator, it wasn't worth it. So, I mean, we're right back to that same spot now. Do we fix
That was
the elevator?
$150,000 back then.
Yeah. so-
It's gotta be, almost double.
Hey, you know what, I hate to bring it up, but correct me if I'm wrong. We've got 2 boilers heating this courthouse, correct? Or that we had to, one went bad. We've been robbing that one to keep the other one going. We've got 1 boiler heating this courthouse, right? If it goes bad and there's no more parts left, then we're gonna have to shut the courthouse down for the winter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we care about people around here, don't we?
We'll try.
Yeah, okay. My point's made.
Trying to get people to give
We
you
got
quotes.
1 boiler heating the whole courthouse. If it goes bad, we don't have a backup.
But you also gotta realize it takes time to get quotes from people to give you quotes.
And it's August.
Yeah.
You're right. That is an emergency, in my opinion.
Well, you can't make people, that's what everybody's facing, is you can't get people to come and give you estimates. I mean, I've been dealing with the Republican headquarters and stuff. You can't get people to come and give you an estimate.
No.
It's like,
They
what,
won't
you guys all
come.
rich or what?
Or show up to work.
Yeah. If you say you want a quote or an estimate, they're like, oh, we'll get to you when we can. They just, I
Or show
know.
up to work too.
Yeah.
And we're not dealing with this yet.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I know you are, Dale. I'm not complaining, okay? But we care about people. We're gonna care about all these raises we're giving. These people won't have a job if that boiler goes bad.
2 to 3 days. Do it every day.
Okay, are we gonna start at page 1?
No, we need to go to second half.
Or
We
second
did the
half,
first half
sorry.
yesterday.
Okay, adult probation.
What page we on?
28.
That's enough, yeah, 28.
Page 2.
28,
28.
yeah.
Good to me.
Yeah, there really isn't.
So we're not getting any reimbursement anymore, Jane?
They moved that to, they increased the adult probation superior. They decreased the 5,000 out of adult probation circuit, but if you go to the next page, they increased what they were requesting to pay out of adult probation superior.
Okay.
Because they were getting less fees in one and more fees in the other. So between those two, we'll still get the same amount of reimbursement.
Yeah, you get $5,000 in there. You'll come back now.
So it came out of the reimbursement, right? The 5,000 went into that and that
Yeah,
made
you
it
did 20 last year,
25.
not 25 this year.
Yeah.
That's the only change in there.
Yeah, that's the only,
That's a good change.
okay. Questions or comments on this? Okay. Page 30, the cemetery.
You missed 29.
I missed 29?
Wait.
No, we didn't do that.
No, you
That's
missed
one.
29.
You missed 29.
I missed 29, okay.
Wake up over
Page
there.
30, cemetery.
Thank you.
Hey, we're doing good there. This, looks good to me.
Yeah, there's only $1,000 increase and that's on the mowing contract.
That's cheap.
How many cemeteries they mowing, Bill?
13? But I'm not for sure.
Is there a schedule they're supposed to stick to, like how many times a month they're supposed to go up mow and everything, or?
Part of them are 2 times a season, and then part of them are monthly.
We already did page 31. Skip page 32.
Now, on 31, she was requesting an increase. Are we leaving that raise in there? What now?
For the
Yeah,
part-time?
$4,192, is that what you have? That was the,
Yes.
that would be the increase. She was asking for,
10.
she's wanting a $4,192 increase on the part-time employee.
I thought she was splitting that between election board and this.
Since it's coming out of clerk's
she-
perpetuation, I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
I mean, I thought we talked about this the other day.
We did, but we,
She requested 10,192 out of both budgets. We removed it out of the election board budget because we're not giving any raises out of county general right now. So that's why I was asking, did you want to leave the raise here?
because it would have to come out of the perpetuation fund.
Yeah, to come out of
If it's going to.
which she has funds. There's like 53 in there now, and money goes in there constantly.
So that's going to be our response to her, then if she wants that $4,000 raise, she'll have to take it out of perpetuation
Yeah,
fund.
which I mean she's fine with because she requested it.
Okay,
So there.
so then that's okay, right? Okay,
32 we don't touch.
Yeah, that drug-free fund. Coroner's perpetuation.
Same thing last year.
Pardon me?
Same thing last year.
Yeah.
Perpetuation funds is what they're not messing with.
Then on, let's see. I got all kinds of notes on this.
County employees have badges or something, Jane?
I'm sorry?
County employees have badges or something? Is that what this county identity security protection is?
No, that's a service to redact social security numbers from recorded documents.
Oh, okay.
So we're at 35 now, right? Page 35?
35?
Hang on.
You said 35, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. County share economic development.
The payment I have written in here, they're wanting $100,000 EEG.
You have what, Bob?
They mentioned $100,000 for EDG for a budget for this year.
Well, there's nothing requested.
I was gonna say, that's not this budget.
Where'd the 100,000 come from?
Well, it could be in another budget, but I'm saying right now, it is not in here.
No, it's blank in here,
Right.
but it was mentioned for 100,000.
I don't think,
We've given them $80,000 a year.
Well, as of right now, it looks like they wouldn't get it because it's not in here.
Well, I'll cross it out then. They're not asking for any money for this year, right?
No, the
it's in
commissioners-
another budget. It's not
Okay.
in this budget.
They moved it somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay.
Where
That
did
they
they move
control.
it? Jane, where did they move it
Remember right off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
It's on that individual.
I want to say 4903. I want to say it's courthouse operating.
to? Okay.
So hang on. I will go out there and I will
Yeah.
tell you for sure.
It's in the courthouse.
Wait, park maintenance, what's that for?
Man love?
Yeah. So 4903. Yeah, it is now in 4903.
What's
So
part-
courthouse operating.
What page is that, Dale?
Mine, it's just an extra page.
Hey, Jane,
Okay.
what's park maintenance for?
Hold on just one second.
Man, the
37.
Okay.
37.
And it's going to be courthouse operating. That is what the service contract is, 30970.
30970 service contract, 100,000.
Are we still on
And
page
that would cover
35?
the EDG?
I think
37.
That's EDG.
37.
Yes, that's where they moved it to, is there.
So we paid his total, his 80,000.
That's where I got the 100,000 from, EDG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're on page 37 now, Sharon?
Do what?
Are you on page 37 now?
37.
Oh, I'm just clarifying right now.
Yeah, the EDG request has been moved from 1112 to 4903, and it's that line 30970 service
Yeah,
contracts,
Service contracts.
which that not full. We've been paying something out there in prior years. So
I put EDG down for that.
Yeah. 7,050, 7,625.
Now I want 100,000.
Yeah, so do we want to go back to the page 35 and finish county sheriff now that we know that's where that was moved to?
Okay.
All right, the 100,000 back in now?
No.
You can't approve a budget for more than was requested, so the most you can approve right here on this Fund 1112 is going to be your 46,108.
Park maintenance. So this is the first time we've done the park maintenance at Manlove. if it's not in previous years.
The lake that they're,
Yeah, because they're draining the lake, the inlet lake,
Oh, okay,
and
so
doing,
that's,
yeah.
okay, I remember that now.
Which we've gotten grant funds for some of the work, but not all of it.
Not all of it, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. And that's gonna take a couple years, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what about the regional economical development funding for 11,000?
so that's our,
Pardon me?
the fee that we pay.
Yeah, there's like a, what is it, five or six county
Yeah.
area of regional economic development, and we appoint board members to that, and
Okay.
they meet with, Dale's on that board, Scott, I believe, is on that board.
Why wasn't there anything paid in 23 and 24?
Got paid for somewhere else.
Yeah, it could have been paid from another fund.
We paid it, but
So why are we putting it for it?
They've
just
got
moving stuff around. just like we
10,000
do.
for overtime, they haven't had anything before.
Oh, you're on a different page, you're on 37.
Yeah, 10,360.
This budget, keep in mind, is part of the commissioner's capital plan, so if you change anything here, all you're doing is giving more money to the city. Because whatever we don't spend ourselves, go to them.
So in 2024, we asked for 100,000. And this year, we're only asking for 46,108. So what about the
Because they've
difference?
they've
there?
moved it to
Because they
4903.
moved it. Okay, that's,
If you had the capital plan in front of you, there's a above the line and below the line. So the above the line, we can keep 100%. The below the line, we get is the 57-43 split between us and the city.
okay.
So to give us a larger share of that edit tax and give the city a little less, because the city, in the past, they've used that to pay their pool payment. Well, they only have a half a pool payment due.
Okay.
So we moved some expenses around to
Thank
put
you.
more above the line, so we didn't give the city as much.
Okay. Okay.
So on this sheet here, on the top part, where's that EDG funding going? To us?
That was EDG.
No, if you go into EDG, but I'm saying we're spending it out of a different fund.
EDG on page 37, correct?
Yes.
30970.
Then on page 36, the courthouse lease debt.
Okay, I'm just looking this up for you, for the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. In this year, we paid that out of 4903, and it was $9,156.80. So we have paid it each year, we just paid it out of a different budget this year.
Okay.
Because last year, if you look, we didn't adopt anything out of this budget for that expense, so they're kind of shifting. We moved
Okay.
EDG out and moved this back.
Okay. Page 36, the courthouse lease debt.
Nothing to change there.
No, no. 439,000. Okay, then on page 37, courthouse operating.
On 3, okay, that's at $100,000. We've never spent more than 7625. What's the 100,000 for, Jane?
That's where they
EDG?
moved, yes, that's where they moved.
That's the EDG. Property purchase land, $50,000.
What are they wanting to buy?
I don't know if they have,
Nothing?
In case something comes up.
Did they have a
if we need
fund
something.
set up at one time
Building and grounds maintenance, 75,000. That's a, it's 66 last, spent, budget 66, spent 24 so far.
On the maintenance on 3102, it was 55,024. They haven't spent anything, and it still has 55,000. What can that be on maintenance? Couldn't that go towards that boiler thing?
And that goes back into your
Pardon me?
miscellaneous income, is that? Is
I couldn't
unused?
hear what he said.
Sorry?
Does that go back in your miscellaneous income if it's unused?
It would just stay in the fund. It's a non-reverting fund, so I mean, it just stays.
So what kind of maintenance is that?
Any kind, I mean, it could be anything.
I mean, is that something
Yeah.
that we could use?
Yeah,
10,000 for overtime, they don't used it before. And that's,
that was taken into consideration in the new overtime laws. They're going into effect January 1st.
so you had to put it in the budget.
Part-time.
The supervisor wants to put a $10,000 raise. Maintenance, repair, supplies. Oh, that goes to the jail, $50,000. Top 20286. That mean that's paid out of the jail fund?
Okay, again, your funding here is your special purpose edit. So I don't know that you want to move stuff out of here.
I don't want to move it, I just want to know what it's for.
Okay, well, I thought you said couldn't it be paid out of the jail? And I'm like, no.
Okay.
I mean, we've got building and grounds maintenance, 75,000. We've got repair and maintenance supplies, 25,000. Then we've got maintenance of 55,000. I mean, what
How about towards your boiler repair?
could, if it could,
Okay, your building and grounds maintenance is employees. That's a one line, so that's your guys that are doing the building and grounds maintenance. That's a payroll line. So then when you move on down, like your 20286, the maintenance or repair, that's a supply line, and then you go on down to the 3000s of services. So that maintenance there is a service line.
But the 55,000 and then the repair and maintenance supplies, that would just be there, right? Well, no, because they use 24,000. Oh, no, that's adopted, they only
They
use
only use
17,000. There's 8. On the 2285 is what I was just looking at. I'm just curious.
We covered the 1058 building and grounds maintenance, 75,000. And they've never spent more than 37.
But which part of that is just a problem finding and keeping employees? Because those maintenance positions pay like roughly $15 an hour, and nobody will stay and do the hard work that's required for that kind of money.
Okay, but the most they spent was 37. Do we need a budget 75?
Well, he's hoping to get 2 people hired to fill those positions so we can get, I mean, we've all
and
talked
he
about.
needs them.
Yeah, that's what I
He
say.
needs
We've
them.
all talked about how much work needs done, so.
Was that for Josh? To help
Yes,
him?
this is Josh's department.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we funded two full-time employees, but we can't find them, or we can't keep them.
Okay, and I know you just went over this, but the repair and maintenance supplies, no. There was only 8,000 difference there, so that probably we can't do anything with that. I thought there was another maintenance.
Why did we spend $100,000 to EDG?
They asked for it.
Huh?
They asked for it.
Actually, the commissioners have set that number themselves.
Do what, Mike?
The commissioners have set that number themselves.
Is that under service contracts?
Yes.
Yeah.
The city don't give a penny.
City don't give a penny.
So why do we finance it all?
Good question.
Somebody
Move
has to,
Move that to 30,000.
you can knock it down to 30,000 if you want to. The commissioners can take money out of another one of their funds. They can take 100,000 out of their account. So you're not really preventing anything.
Then make them do it.
So how would they do that, Mike?
They have always said, the commissioners have always said that the EDG has not come over and requested anything. I think at one time it used to be 100,000 between the city and the county, if I remember right. 50,000. Well, we got when I got into office, Marshall and Jim as well, we looked at the cost, what it could be used for, and we went through the courthouse operating costs, and like Jane said, you know, you took as much as you can to leave as little on the bone as possible, and not to be underhanded, but you're benefiting the county by utilizing every cent you could. And when we did that, they were short on their pool payment a little bit, $9,000. That was one of the reasons that they stopped funding EDG. The other was because there was a certain maritime town that wanted a certain person that worked for him in the funeral home to be the EDG director, and he did not get selected. And they went on another search for directors, and then Dan applied to some other gentleman from out of the area that wanted 6 figures. And you do darn well if he's from another area and he was getting 6 figures before, he's not going to stay here. There's a stopgap until he finds what he wants and moves on. But Dan's a homegrown boy and done a lot of things for the community, and he applied for it and they hired him. But the 100,000 is what the commissioners have established. You can see it's changed over the years. If you go back to the other fund, 35, it's been 25, 40, 50, whatever, 80,000 to help them, because I know people say, well, they don't see enough results from EDG. Well, not everybody wants to go to Connersville. Not everybody wants to. And when I said on EDG, and Boarhead was contemplating whether they wanted to come, Duke Energy was willing to address those electrical service needs that they wanted, and I can't remember what it was. But they wouldn't address it, and Newcastle did. Newcastle had a better road back to 74 or 70. The commission, you can sit here and say, well, we're going to do 30,000. The commissioners have money in their budget, they'll find it somewhere in their budget, they'll reallocate that money right back to them. So you're not doing anything. That goes for most anything here. If they feel it's a need, they will find the money in there that can be cross-used, so to speak, and they'll take care of it. So
they're the ones that established that.
yeah.
Fact is, that there's a lot of grants you can't get if you don't have an EDG director and EDG program.
Well, Mayor Urban tried to do that and be the mayor, and Mayor Frank wants to do the same thing, but you can't. You need somebody that's just dedicated to that job. There's different contacts that the EEG director establishes. That's why we're part of this group that we talked about. Was it 11,000 we paid, Jane, or 9,000?
I'm sorry?
I call it the EIEIO board.
Oh, yeah, it was 11 something.
That's part of the reason we're with that, because there's certain things that you get access to that you don't if you don't have an EEG director. So,
How much does EDG bring in a month?
so it's not like it's not a company that goes to bring in money.
But the EDG does have money.
Not, they're maybe property rich. That might be it. I mean,
Yeah,
they
'cause
don't
I
own the
think they own
building.
I think they have, EDG owns the building, right?
I don't think so anymore.
Oh, they don't?
Ivy Tech,
Ivy Tech,
that's it.
Okay.
That is-
Up
so
here,
they
Ivy
separated,
Tech, yeah.
they separated fire services and electrical services from Ivy Tech. They split it off from D&M building. That's been sold off.
A lot of the things EEG does, they get involved with area programs, bring business in, but they may not all come here. They may go up there to State Road 1 or someplace else, but they're together trying to bring businesses into 3 or 4 county communities.
We have better relationships now than we have in.
Well, I know the time there, we didn't talk to anybody. That was
Right.
not good.
And as part of mentality, we could do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
Why can't the city pay half of it though? Why we
They
have
don't want to. I mean, it's just,
Why should we have to pay it all though?
well,
Because, yeah, Mike said they don't want to.
you can't make them, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drive. Why won't they help more on 911? Because they don't want to.
No.
Why won't they help on this? Because they don't want to.
The tax, they didn't want to give those fire departments any money.
They don't want you to start growing sunflowers.
After we already passed it.
You don't want to.
okay, so, moving on, the 160, there's only a property, and then jail utilities, everything else has went up too, so that's only went up $10,000. Is there everybody comments, questions on this page?
Page?
Okay, page 38,
No, it is what it is.
pardon me.
It is pretty much what it is.
Yeah,
Pretty much all of the 41 before. Moving right along, good cat.
You just give us time, Gene needs to get all that together
cumulative, okay. I'm on page 41, is that where everybody else is?
No, 42.
42? Okay.
Is that remodeling, is that the old jail? 120,000?
What's the new jail?
30910, $18,000 reduced in subscriptions. Most they ever spent was 46 to 32. You know, I spent 29,000 back in 2000. Can you explain that?
Yeah, he explained that the other day.
Yeah.
Wasn't that for, he has to have that for like his apps and computer stuff. I was thinking, that's what Michael said.
Dale?
Wasn't that right, Jane?
I know that because don't take this the wrong way. IT challenged. All three of you. Are we buying our computers or are we leasing them?
Buying
Have we ever looked into leasing for
it.
copiers?
I would have to say no.
Are we getting an enterprise agreement on our Microsoft software? I would say no. These are things that we need to be checking into that save us money. I guarantee it. There's a reason that it's done in the business world. That's not because they enjoy pissing away money. It's because it saves them money. So that needs to be pushed, I think, with Michael. And I know it doesn't get pushed because if you don't understand what you're talking about, it's hard to talk about. And again, no offense. But I think it really needs to be addressed in ways to save costs. And leasing computers for 2 or 3 years is probably the best way and most economical way to go. That's what most companies do. For copiers, they're all under a maintenance agreement. They come in, they fix them whatever they want, if they need to be fixed. Everybody's on the same copier. For the most part, you get, or if, say James needs to be different than the recorders, then you just take care of that one on a one-on-one basis. But I think these are some things that need to be pushed that we're not doing. Zach and I are looking into a software program that may or may not be of benefit to them that could be free for the county and save us 25, maybe 8,000 through dispatch, because we use the same thing, and 25 for the city too, Zach?
Yeah.
Save us $58,000. Those are the kind of things we need to look into.
We lease quite a bit of our copy machines at the jail are leased.
Okay.
So they are, Michael does do that. Computers are not, but most copiers for the county are.
Back to this remodeling cost of $120,000. What was that for?
Remodeling?
30502.
That's Dale's office. Put more guns up.
I've got 50,000 written outside that town. I think we changed that to 50,000.
That amount has kind of been the budgeted amount for the last few years, and then we've spent varying amounts. If you look at 23 and 22, since Josh has been on board, I can't say exactly what that is without looking at the paid out, but some of the work they did in probation on the annex when they replaced like flooring and did some of the walls and new ceiling tiles, and he completely redid the bathroom and stuff. So I think that sort of thing is what's being paid out of there. So I don't know that there was a particular project in mind. I think it was just continuing to set aside that amount of money, hoping that some of the projects would get done.
Excuse me.
Listen.
Thank you. So is that, are we thinking that needs to be lowered?
I do.
Maybe 20,000 and keep it at 100, because the most that's been spent is 47. What do you think?
Cut it in half.
I don't know if I'd cut it in half.
That's still more than what they've spent.
The
Yeah.
remodeling cost,
Yeah.
I've got written down here 50,000 is what we were thinking about. $120 to be 60, so. I think Scott mentioned it.
Maybe 70. Because right now they haven't spent anything, and the most they spent is 47, and we kind of meet in the middle because of how inflation is going up and stuff. Maybe put it at 70. What's everybody agree on?
Well, 65, 120, 60, it could be half of it.
I'd say cut it in half.
What's that?
The remodeling cost.
30502 on 1138.
What's it for, Dale?
I can't answer that. I can't.
Is anything tied in with women's work release or anything like that?
I
No.
couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Is it anything tied in with women's work release?
I don't
I say cut in half.
Okay.
But I think there will be a little bit of expense on top of the women's work release. So we have to put some fencing up in the jail and that building that I don't believe that was figured into the program. So that'd be an additional on top of that.
So now is that going to come out of this remodeling cost?
That I don't know where it come from.
You could. That's what I wondered, there's some things that I don't think were addressed, that needed to be addressed in the original design of the women's work release. Fencing, I believe, one of the issues that maybe was or was not addressed.
So they're gonna
I think we're gonna find some things as we get running over there. Exactly where you golf cart to get back and forth to the village.
Just a moving escalator like the people mover, that'll work.
That's too easy for them. You gotta make at least get up in the chair.
So is 60,000 a good number, or
Yeah,
is that?
that's what I go with.
If we have unforeseen cost, that's all I'm saying.
Well, he ends up spending 120 and come back to see us, we'll see what we can do.
This is not benefiting county general, correct, Jane?
Right, it's not been.
It's what, not moved to county general?
Yeah, he asked if it benefited county general, and it doesn't. I mean, CUMCAP has its own levy.
Pretty much everything, you know, since page 27 on or whatever. is not-
So really then it don't matter if we decrease it or not?
Well, it does, some degree.
Not really.
Sharon St. Paul.
I know. We're gonna finish this page.
Yeah, I want to.
Your bedtime, Jim?
Pardon?
Your bedtime?
No,
You go to CPC, by?
no, that probably will be about 12. I got other things to do.
You got a gun shop to sell, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And on the office equipment, I don't know if you guys were here or not, but he was talking about they're buying a copier for $7,000. That's kind of what you were talking about, Mike.
Right.
And firewalls for the jail is gonna be $7,000. So they're looking at about $14,000. Do you know what the firewalls that he's talking about?
The computers to keep unwanted people out of your servers. People trying to hack their way into it, the firewall prevents them from getting into it.
Okay. He said it was for the jail, might be the new one.
It's a stop sign for fire.
And then for the auditor's office, that he's purchasing a $7,000 copier. That's in my notes. Is that what you had?
Must be nice.
Okay.
Must be a nice one.
Talking about leasing.
Do what?
That must be nice. I don't get them all.
Well, that's like Mike is saying, lease it.
I think they'll be leasing this stuff.
Leasing every bit of it. But you can't get it done. Pay a bit of attention to you.
So where do we stand on this one?
On what?
On page 42 on the,
I guess before I cut the 120 to whatever you want, I just maybe ask Dale what it was for. Feel strong? Who presented this
When you're
number?
saying the 120,
Yeah.
I'm saying there's nothing specific in that line. That's the same amount that's been requested, I mean, ever since Gary Naylor was here as a
Oh,
commissioner.
okay, all right, then cut it.
I mean, just every year we put it out there, hoping that we have time and manpower to do the jobs that need to be done, and we pay for it out of it.
But that could be used for tuck pointing.
I mean, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it can be used for any service. I mean, we can move
Like
that
Jim
money.
said, you do the tuck pointing a little at a time. So you get it done.
Yeah.
That's 1 year's worth.
so then I go back to my question again. Should we just leave the 120,000 there?
I would leave it maybe in talk to the three commissioners and see if tuck pointing is a hot item on their list, if there's some major area, or some area that's really kind of at need, at risk of creating damage to the public, if we can address it with that $120,000, because we're not done with the budget yet, so we can always take out.
Oh, yeah.
So you can come back in and have a discussion with them and see if that's something doable for this.
Well, there
2025.
again, is
And
that
talk about
something that
leasing
can be
stuff, too.
used for the boilers?
How more the tuck pointing?
I would say just leave it alone, let's get the three commissioners in and talk to it at one time.
Well, 600,000 tuck point, couldn't that be used for that if it needed it? Remodeling?
If you do it in 6 years, why not?
Should we take it back to 120?
Yeah.
There's 100,000 to help out.
Any other comments on this page that we're gonna make? Okay, now we need to, we're going to recess. It's after 8 o'clock. It's,
Jim's complaining.
Jane, how much time are you gonna need to put the raises back in and get all that done? Couple, 3 days?
When do you wanna meet again?
Okay, I can't put raises in right now because I'm not clear on what we're doing, I don't think.
yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I see we already wasted one day.
When do you wanna meet again, Sharon?
I can't meet more this week, but next week
No.
I'm fine.
Monday, the 26th, Tuesday, the 27th. What does that look like for everybody?
Tuesday's
Fine.
better for me.
Tuesday?
Monday?
Both days are fine for me.
I don't know how much more work y'all think we've got to do, but you've got to be done by September 6th. So just keep that in mind. And you've got a holiday in there,
By what date?
September 6th.
September.
This,
September
September 6th?
7th.
You have to close your hearings 10 days prior to your adoption.
You better go with Monday.
We adopted on the 16th, so we gotta get it by the
Adoption is the
6th.
17th, so you'd have to wrap up by the 6th.
Okay. So yeah, let's do the 20,
Get it done next week.
Monday, the 26th. And then if we have to go Tuesday, we'll come
If
to.
we wanna meet a little earlier that day, maybe?
Republican meeting.
I-
We got a Republican meeting on Tuesday.
She said Monday.
She said Tuesday too.
So let's
I
do
get
Monday,
yours.
the 26th.
What time?
Monday or Tuesday?
You want to do 5?
Yeah.
Monday, the 26th. 5? Okay. Monday at 5 o'clock, August 26th.